All right. Greetings, viewers. Welcome to Tales of Winternacht and the start of Book 3, Tale of Cybil's Spear, our primary actual play D&D 5e campaign. I'm Silver. As always, I'll be your storyteller this evening. With me are our esteemed players. We'll start off with Dustin. Why don't you give the audience a little bit about yourself? I'm sorry, I should have prompted you guys on this. This was going to happen.
No, it's fine. Um, Hello, I am Dustin. I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons for a few years as I've grown to know and love these wonderful individuals that surround me. Um, on my non-D&D days, I go rock climbing and enjoy thrifting.
Yeah.
So I'm Jeff. I've been playing since the beginning of this campaign, and been playing D&D a bit longer than that. Most time I'm at work, working on cars.
Saga.
Hi, I am Saga. I've been playing D&D for a couple of years. I am a the newest member of this group, proud cat mom to a cat you will see around. And obviously I'm a big reader, so that's me.
No, really.
AJ.
Hello, I'm AJ. I've been with this group for going on a few years now. Been playing D&D a little bit longer than that. And I guess I could say, like Saga, I'm a reader, but not nearly as big of bookshelves.
Ernie.
Hello. I enjoy playing Dungeons and Dragons. I live in an apartment with two cats, and I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons for a couple of years before this game. I have a bookshelf, but I have a lot of guitars behind me too, and I work with an eye doctor.
All right, and last but certainly not least, Conrad.
Hi, I'm Conrad. Like all the other wonderful folks here, I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons for several years. This is by far the best campaign I've ever been in. It's gonna ruin any other groups I try to play with going forward. Um, yeah. I'd say I have other hobbies, but I don't really have other hobbies. I just play other D&D games. So here we are.
He lives the best life, though.
All right.
More D&D.
For those of you tuning in for the first time, or if you've missed a session, I'd like to encourage you to check out Book 1, Book 2 on the YouTube channel. There's also our limited series, Thick as Thieves 1 and Thick as Thieves 2 over there. Fun stories that we've told in the past, but we're here about tonight. So if you want to get involved tonight, there's channel points. You can influence the stream, help out with providing inspiration on rolls and re-rolls of things that go away you don't want to see as a viewer, whether that's for or against the party. That is your call on how you want to do those things, as well as looking for the resident mascot of Where Cybil, I believe, is in there as an option as well. Love to have you guys join our Discord server, which the link is in the About section. That's also where you can find the links for the YouTube channel as well. Before we begin, I want to thank Smiteworks for Fantasy Grounds, our virtual tabletop of choice, Sirenscape for amazing ambient sound effects and music, some of that music you're hearing right now, Discord for our voice and video, and Wizards of the Coast for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, the game we play. Tales of Winternacht is not an official representative of any of these companies, and the views and statements made during our game do not in any way represent those of the companies, until they say otherwise. One more note for tonight. We will be doing a giveaway later in the stream of, we have merch that we've developed, just some fun stuff. So we'll be doing a giveaway of items for that later, so be sure to stick around for that. We will announce when we get to that point so that you can enter and get that possibility of winning something that we'll send directly to you for your ownership pleasure. I don't know how to say that, but anyway,
You're enjoying
if we hit our goal of 80 follows tonight, there will be an additional giveaway, and if we can hit 10 subs tonight, there will be another additional giveaway of some slightly higher dollar items. So we'll up the ante if you help us out with getting there. So anyway, without further ado, previously on the tale of Cybil's Spear. Cybil's Spear, a group of 5 strangers who shared a doomed voyage to Cybil's, shipwrecked on the Norborn Peninsula of Baral. Kiesel, Zedri, Jofreidr, Alfred, and Salinas banded together, took down a cult in Wickob, traversed the mysterious Dreamer's End, decimated a necromancer in Airguard, saved Maiden Thorn from the Witherlord, stopped the Ashrot Plague in Ashmain. We won't talk about Izzy. And along the way, lost a few friends and also found a few. Most recently, rescuing a young female vampire named Lonan from an unfortunate situation in Eastshore. And after a little conversation, finding that they had a shared enemy in the Dreamer, joined together as the new reformed Cybil's Spear, 6 members, 6.5, we'll count Cybil. And the 6 of them most recently visited the Oracle of Ashmain at the end of Book 2, a few 40 days ago, roughly, and left with some answers, but probably even more questions. But the session with the Oracle had special resonance with the party's barbarian Jofreidr, who found too many similarities between their dream walk and a note he had received from his beloved back in Torsland. Sharing the note with his friends, the party agreed that Torsland would be their next destination after a short stop off in 6 Bells to check on their house. Welcome to Book 3. And here in the Slaver's Sea, north of Torsland, it is the 56th day of Faderman, 296 years after the fall of Mortal. As we get going here. Let me get my stuff sorted here. Our book begins with the sight of a sailing ship with its sails half pulled in as the crew busies themselves with the work of getting the ship ready to make port. We spy a figure standing at the prow of the ship, arms leaning against the railing as if trying to get his face as close as possible to the icy cold sea spray and to the port ahead. Jofreidr, would you please describe this individual that we see anxiously anticipating the ship's docking?
Yeah, so Jofreidr, he's about 25 years old, 6'3", probably somewhere around 215 pounds. He's got some blonde hair, blue eyes, pretty large build, but he's got that dad bod going on, and on his back he carries a large axe. On one side it's got some nice light bright colors like gold, and on the other side it's dark. But besides that, he wears some simple clothes and simple tape.
Before you lies the land you call home, Torsland, northwesternmost country of the continent of Old Mortal. The massive snow-capped peaks of the Dragonspine Mountains lie to your left in the east, the ship having passed them a few days prior. Extending to the west from the mountains are rolling plains of white, and at their edge, in the center of your view, is the bustling port city of Riob. Far smaller than the cities your party has visited recently, but nonetheless welcoming, especially to you. A figure steps up to the railing at Jofreidr's side to take in a view she has never seen before. Lonan, please describe this figure caught up in the foreign view in front of her.
Lonan is a vampire woman, very pale, She is mostly black hair. The underside is white, and it kind of ombres into a white, black and white braid. Very athletic build, gray eyes, pointed, almost elven ears. She just wears very simple, black or gray tunic, gray trousers tucked into brown boots, and kind of a fairly worn-looking armor, despite it being a bit newer on her. New to her armor, we'll say. A longbow is slung across her back with her quiver, and kind of bundled in her arms is what looks to be a either small blanket or large scarf that she's holding on to.
As you two take in the sight before you with anticipation, you hear the sound of two other familiar voices approaching from behind you, discussing some bit of nonsense that seems unimportant in comparison to the sight of land. You have been at sea for weeks at this point, with only one stop on your trip from Six Bells up to Torsland. That being several weeks ago, even for that one night stop in town. But as these individuals step up with their little conversation, Kiesel and Salinas, please describe your characters as they approach.
Well, Salinas is a satyr, of curly, brown hair, and his curved horns. He's bundled up in his, bigger fur-lined overcoat that he was ready to have packed away for the season, but we're heading up to Torsland, and so it came back out. Um, uh, he has a we have a small amulet around his neck, kind of overtop his leather armor, and no really visible weapons on his person. Just seems to be a relatively new addition. His violin, his fiddle, in a special case strapped along his back.
Parallel to his friend walking at a modest 5 feet and 10 inches. Kiesel is walking alongside him wearing a very excellent fur cap with a small face mask being pulled up so only his eyes are peering through intensely, with a very thick, like, bear fur coat on his back, kind of, like pants and like a shirt, like leathery, but with a big breastplate kind of covering his main abdomen, with a sash not only going across here but also kind of like different fabrics, almost kind of making like a skirt almost at the bottom where it meets the legs, boots, and some armor patchings, also juxtaposed, whereas there was not a whole lot of weapons, a lot of weapons, mainly two daggers sticking out by the waistband with a glaive on the backside. Glaive is much taller than Kiesel, with some knickknacks and coins and a small grass ring being tied around the base where the blade meets the rest of the glaive.
All right. As the four of you settle in to watch the approaching port, you all hear a familiar voice from behind, assuring another that they will be fine. As they join you four, watching the landscape unfold before you, Zedri and then Alfred, please describe your characters and the furry friend at your side.
Yeah. Zedri, from beneath this kind of messy mop of purple hair, you'd see that he has two dark horns that kind of wrap around the side of his head, one with a slightly broken end to it. He's a fireheart with bright eyes and lavender skin, standing at 5'10" in some. He lays a hand adorned in a series of rings kind of at his side on a holstered short wooden staff as he kind of looks around as he's walking the deck, making sure to check in with his other companion as well. He's kind of wearing this I'm going to totally steal what somebody said beforehand based on the art, like monk and corsair clothing with a hide belt kind of at his waist. So he's lightly dressed for the vastly decreasing temperatures, but he seems largely unbothered by it.
And it seems we are at odds, for his companion in Fireheart is quite literally bundled up as much as he can be. From what little you can see, though, Alfred is a lithe individual, slightly shorter than most of his companions, with a red complexion, two whole horns standing on top of his head. And around him, amass all the clothing and bundled wardrobe that he has procured for himself in these tundra weather conditions that he's going to be in. You can see an assortment of hammers and screwdrivers and all sorts of workman's tools around his belt, and a whole bunch of other boxes and compartments by which he stores things that all dangle around as he clumps around next to his friend. And beside him is a four-legged companion. Cybil, the mascot of our little traveling group, is a German Shepherd Husky with brown hair on sort of the chest area and a little bit of white, but mostly black and like a dark brown around the rest of the coat.
All right. As the six and a half of you, all join together at the prow of this ship, the deck is yours.
Well,
See. Oh, go ahead.
While we're waiting for land, it seems like the deck is ours.
Lonan is going to turn to Zedri and toss him the bundle of she's holding. Finally finished it.
Excuse me, what exactly is it? And Zedri will kind of catch this mass.
Your scarf.
Oh.
I told you I was going to make you one.
Right. Zedri will go ahead and kind of try to unfold it. Is it extremely long?
It's very if he was, it would be fairly long and wide. What it is most of it is red, but at each end, on one end, it turns into adding yellow and orange flames to a kind of flame pattern, and on the other side, the red goes into a blue and white, a wave pattern. And as you kind of unfold it, you can kind of lay it over your shoulders and kind of wear it almost like vestments, or you can tie it up around your neck, or however you choose to wear it.
Could we make a burrito out of him?
It's a little small for that.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's my litmus test of...
Zedri will throw down the ends of it, probably accidentally smacking Cybil a little bit. But then he'll quickly try to fix it, and he will put it around the front and throw it so that the force of it kind of wraps itself around his neck. And he'll pull down a little bit so that it's a little bit of a scoop. I very much appreciate this. Thank you for making it.
Didn't seem to bring much warm clothes, so...
I will admit I was prepared at first, but then I got this, and Zedri will go ahead and gesture to his ring finger. nice little ring on it.
You got engaged before we left Six Bells.
No, it was a gift from
Oh,
my dad.
congratulations, Zedri.
I feel like I need to go ahead and
you
air
didn't
out some
tell any
things.
of us.
No, he got engaged before we left Ashmain.
Oh.
Scarlet probably came through with that proposal.
We very much got out of Ashmain before Spring Fair, so it's not an engagement. It's from my great-great-grandfather. My dad gifted it to me, and it seems like it can help me kind of manage my temperature a little bit better.
Oh, I mean, misunderstandings.
I mean, that seems quite useful going where we're going now, but the scarf looks wonderful.
It does. I will definitely wear it. Not too hot, and Zedru will kind of tuck his arms underneath it a little bit. You know, I think I should be good wearing it, and he'll pull them out.
As they're talking, Lonan is pulling on her own kind of like a large poncho scarf. It's been a while since I've been in the cold weather, so I wasn't sure exactly what was going to be needed. But I'm glad you like it.
I appreciate the hat as well. I know it was last minute.
The worst part was I'm not used to working with that type of fur, so it was like trying to sew it on was a bit weird, but I still don't know where you got it from.
It's sometimes best to not ask. I got it, so.
No more questions then.
With Gisela, sometimes you just have to stop asking questions.
Lonan's gonna look over at Jofreidr. So how's it feel?
Being back home, it feels good, but just given the circumstances, ready to get a move on, honestly.
Oh, we're right behind you.
Yeah.
Moments pass by, and you notice that the ship is closing in on port. Crew working quickly to ensure it does so safely and without issue. As you all feel a chill breeze blow across the deck of the ship, causing many of you to pull your newfound cloaks and hats and other cold weather attire a little bit tighter, reminding you of your icy destination that most of you did not need a reminder. We're very well prepared for the know where you're going.
So once we pull up to port, how are we going to be sure that it's not going to be frozen over? And if it is, to get closer.
Oh, it's almost always frozen over. That's just a given.
Part of the charm.
They typically go out onto the ice and break it up by hand. But we'll make it work.
I mean, I don't mind helping out the ship's mage, if that would be a more effective method.
What time of the day is it?
About midday. And time of year wise, I mean, we're now almost out of spring, which is about the time that Torsland has as much of a thaw as it's going to have. Plus, being on the ocean, it's not too terribly bad at this location. So, looking out ahead, it doesn't look like there should be too much ice issues getting into port, as opposed to the last time you were here was a little bit more frozen over.
Jofreidr will use his eagle eyes to look out ahead into the port, and then he'll tell a lot about the sign blood. Given the time of the day and the season, it should be alright. I don't see anything really blocking our way in.
As minutes later, you find yourselves in port. Gangplank is out, and you depart the Widow's Wand with a feeling of good riddance, as the voyage has been less than ideal and terribly long. For the most of you, it is the longest boat ride you've had since the very ill-fated one for some of you. But it has come to an end, and you bid farewell to Captain Yancey and his crew as you quickly make your way down onto the docks and eventually onto dry land for the first time in several weeks.
Oh, wonderful. We're back ashore. I can't wait to get some real food.
Oh,
I
welcome
think
to
the
Riyadh,
ship's
everybody.
Was salted fish and hardtack not on the not appetizing enough?
I hate fish.
I think the ship's cook did a admirable job.
Oh, there'll be plenty more fish for whatever meal we have at the tavern, I'm sure.
Goody.
Lonan,
Good. Yes.
as you touch your boots to dry-ish land, fairly muddy,
Mm-hmm.
for the first time in well over a week, it's actually been 15 days since you guys left Blackwell, which was your stop-off port from Six Bells. Your thoughts roam a little bit to Lieutenant Mercury, the goblin investigator with the Ash Watch that each of you reported to after the conclusion of chapter 27 of book 2, and still just can't get over how unlikely it was that all of you were allowed to leave the city given the gravity of the situation and what had happened. While the magic mirror of memory, or whatever they called that thing, was a real neat trick, to let you all go was still a blessing.
It's just Lona's just gonna let out like a deep breath and just like, I'm still in shock how we got out of that in Ashmain.
What,
Oh.
alive?
Yeah,
At all.
that too. Not arrested. Well, I mean, one of us, but we got him out, so.
For a brief moment.
Oh, we shouldn't have to worry about that too much here. You should probably stab someone in the streets and they would just applaud you, perhaps.
Let's stay out of
Well,
the streets.
yeah.
Is it normal for weapons to be drawn, or should I still keep it on my back? Probably safer with it drawn.
You don't really gotta worry about it. Most of the brawls happen when people have too much drink or, rival
Yes.
clans get together, but that doesn't happen too often.
Yeah, but that kind of flows like water here, so should I be on the ready, or?
Could always be prepared for a fight.
Yeah,
Well,
true.
if anyone recognizes me, then I suppose we may need to be on the ready, but
Is your reputation that bad in town?
well, I
Is
am
there
the son
anyone
of
that
the
we should be
landlord.
looking? Is there anyone we should be looking out for? Do you have
Jofreidr
like?
stops to ponder.
When the time comes, we will know.
You know, going back to Ashmain, I mean, I could just pinch myself, and we're not dreaming about that we're here, right?
I sure hope not.
Oh,
We
no.
definitely do.
We are not starting on that right now.
I just want to be sure. I just want to make sure we're as far away from any shenanigans before we get into any new shenanigans.
I'm telling you, it'd be a really shitty dream if we had to dream the last couple weeks.
Dream paying a couple hundred gold and sitting on the damp ship for a couple of weeks.
I feel like it's an impoliteness how often we keep doors open behind us, but at the same time, I think it is a very rational fear with what we've experienced.
Be a while to get used to y'all doing that.
No,
So
you'll get
we
used
have
to it.
Loden. She closes it behind us.
Well, given we're all at attention pretty much all the time anyways, I don't see anything here being an issue.
If it is, we could just summon Folk, and she would probably scare most people off.
Or
Looks
she would just
alone.
get killed. But we are in Torsland.
I mean,
Famed dragon slayers.
you know, which one of us wouldn't get killed here, realistically? Statistically.
I already
Lona's
got
just gonna
killed
look
Me,
once.
I
very
would run away.
pointedly at Jofreidr.
Well, elves are pretty common here. Honestly, us humans are the rarity, if anything.
I don't know that. Speaking of, as we've been off the ship, where exactly are we headed?
I
Go
suppose if
here.
we're looking for some food and probably a place to stay tonight, I don't think we'll be going anywhere tonight. I'd say the Blue Dawn Inn.
Right on.
This
Right
is a
on.
place that you've known before?
Well, it's the biggest place in town. It's the best place to go when you first come in.
No, I mean, it's just, you know that this place really exists.
Oh, I grew up in this country. I'd sure hope so.
Okay. Just checking.
Been there plenty of times. I assure you, you can see through the windows.
Is it just gonna
Oh.
put a hand on the shoulder of Alfred? Is he really tense right now?
Yeah, and Alfred is like this.
Zedri will just say, "Hey, Alfred, if you want, later tonight, I could go ahead and do some acupuncture on you. I've been practicing with all of my needles. It'll chill you out."
Okay. I'd be willing to try that.
Yeah, acting like you're frozen? You shoulders it. Just a little.
Oh,
There we go.
yo.
Even through all the bundles, it's like an inch of movement, probably.
Yeah, a noticeable difference.
To the inn?
Yeah,
Jofreidr,
we've been walking and talking this whole.
Well,
yes.
honestly, a cozier place may be the Riyadh Lodge itself. It's more homely, maybe less busy.
Jofreidr, pardon me if this is insensitive, but if your father is the leader of this place, can we not stay with them?
Not this place. This is Riyadh. It's a bit big for my family.
Oh, I see.
Your home would be roughly about a 3-day trip to the west, overland from here.
My home is about 3 days east, so not terribly far, but a bit of a trip to stay tonight.
Is that 3 days as the crow flies, or?
Depends how bad the snow is.
I'm sure we'll be able to manage. But this
It's end of
lodge...
spring. It'll be fine.
Speaking of, should we get, like, transportation?
Some horses may help.
We can think about that tomorrow morning, I guess.
Yes, I was going to say, let's start with food
More
and
meal would be
fire.
nice.
All right. You head further into the city of Riyadh, trudging through the muddy streets of the Easthold district of the port city, quickly observing that the vast majority of the residents around you are catfolk, much like Swornsteed back in Okaria, um, although quite a few more people, a much larger community. Locals don't seem to pay you very much attention, seem to be pretty used to travelers coming and going through this port city. And they keep to their own business and don't really bother you. Air mostly carrying a crisp, clean smell with some subtle notes of fish, which diminish the further you get from the docks. Despite the occasional armed guard on patrol, but security seems pretty light. Yeah, we heading to Riyadh Lodge or Blue Dawn Inn?
I think Riyadh Lodge after the
Yeah,
second.
lodge sounds good.
All right, so heading through the Easthold district, you pass a variety of different shops. You actually do catch sight of what you would guess to be the Blue Dawn Inn, off the beaten path a little bit. And as you near the edge of the district, you actually get to a large keep, which Jofreidr you would recognize as being that is the
Old Dwarven Hold.
Pretty much, and it's what's operated as the government building for the local leader of the city, as well as the city watch, the port guard. There's also a few guilds that work out of there. The local artificers guild is operated out of there, as well as the Riob Masters of Lore, which is basically just the storytellers collection of history of the Torsland region. But quite a few other little shops and whatnot as you go through, but eventually find your way to a simple stone wall. It looks very, very old. Looks older than most of the structures that you've passed, other than the keep. Passing through the gated wall, nobody. Doors are wide open. Nobody's inspecting anybody. Everything is pretty free flow of traffic. And what appears to be a merchant district on the other side. Jofreidr, you'd recognize this as Tradeburg, would be the district you're passing into. Immediately met with merchants calling out in attempts to sell their goods. Very, very busy environment. A lot of activity here. And as you pass into this area, Salinas, mind kind of wanders a little bit, drifting to conversation you had with Jenica via the Sending Stones back early on in your trip. Was actually kind of nice. You actually got to hear a happy report for once about things from the brash elf, reporting that more residents of Maidenthorn had survived the withers than originally thought. There was a much better situation for the city than originally thought. And also passed along that the Hollow Archon, which had unfortunately burned while you were there, was nearing completion of the rebuild and backup, and that Flower would be taking over management, running the operation going forward. Better still, no further sign of withers or any other dark magic that Devere had employed there. Things seem to be turning around for the good there. Been pretty busy with the town activities, though, so has not gotten much information from outside of the town up to this point, but she was happy to convey that.
Salinas just nods along, smiling at the people around him. Reaches over and hooks Kiesel's arm in his. They walk down the street, giving him a friendly nudge with his shoulder. Ever think we'd end up here?
Considering this to be the opposite side of the world, maybe. No, definitely not here. Better than being in a ditch somewhere in Avaria.
Better than being 6 feet under in Avaria.
Almost vaporized or eaten, or better than being in Avaria, period.
Ah.
I will say, to be fair, the two of you actually did spend one night here when you picked up Jofreidr on the original Painted Eye voyage.
Oh.
So, didn't get to see the sights, didn't have a guided tour by any means, and obviously things were a little bit more clandestine in how you managed yourself around public places. You may not have actually got off the boat, given everything that was going on.
Probably not. It really doesn't count. Visiting a city doesn't really count if you just stay on the dock. You just stay at the ship.
It's like having like a layover boat. You have to go to this port, wait, and then get on like another boat, and then wait for it to refuel. The layovers don't really count.
What about you, Zedri? You ever think you'd end up in Torsland?
Not particularly. A little worried about the whole dragon slayers thing. A little bit more powerful than maybe things we faced in the past. And Citrus is going to kind of tuck his arms a little bit.
What are you talking about? We've killed a dragon before.
Right. No, I very much died in that moment, kind of like torn asunder by the teeth and everything like that. And I had to bring Kiesel back from being a bunch of ice cubes. I don't think we fared very well in totality.
Look, it wasn't permanent, so you know.
But what if it was?
It sure felt permanent, especially with your sister's left tendon where yours is, or, just everything felt so weird.
Right. Apologies there. If there's any sort of medical professionals here in Riyadh, Jofreidr, would love to go ahead and inquire if they have any sort of books or tomes, so that I could make sure I get my anatomy right next time.
I don't think any amount of anatomy would have been able to dig through the jigsaw of icicles that you had to. Which the fact that I was put back together at all is a miracle. So you tried, and I think that's as best as literally anybody could have done.
Well,
And on that note, our literacy here is a little bit low. We depend more on picture books.
That actually works really well. I was hoping to go ahead and take a look at some of the local fauna. I mean, I'm sure everybody would benefit from being turned into a wolf, but if there's any sort of subspecies that's a little more better suited for the colder climates, I would like to go ahead and look into that.
I'm sure we'll run across something.
Awesome.
Well, that is a much more of a relief than what I thought you might be doing, is finding a new local berry to try to make wine out of.
I don't think there will be many berries growing right now. There's not much of anything growing. He's not trying to look around at, the piles of snow in between the streets and stuff. Like,
And that would be local flora, not fauna.
Well, he did say flora and fauna. Did
I
he
just
not?
said fauna.
Sentry immediately turns. I did only say fauna.
yes, you are absolutely right, Salinas.
Looking around at the different market stalls as these individuals are all hawking their goods, most of the stations seem to be selling fresh fruit that appears to have been shipped in from other parts of the world.
We have a where
Some
Cybil.
other raw.
We have a where Cybil.
This one's really
Dalton
easy.
Platypus.
Sybil's right next to us. That's not an issue. She's trotting right in between Zedri and Alfred.
Honestly, she's probably enjoying the snow.
Very much so.
The...
There's lots of lovely smells as Cybil is making her way, staying close, but nose up, sniffing at all the different stalls, not approaching, not attempting to. Well behaved, but definitely can't ignore all the different smells around.
Mm-hmm.
As beyond the fresh fruit, there is lots of other raw foodstuffs, some vegetables, mostly root vegetables, potatoes, things like that. It's a lot of food market going on. Spot a number of individuals selling various seasonings, spices. You catch a scent of dried garlic in the air. In amongst the merchants, you occasionally spy one that appears to be selling books or paper, canvas, some things to write on. You don't really get the sense these are tomes to read, more so ledger books for people to fill in. Everybody, let's do a roll. First roll of book 3. Everybody give me perception rolls for what you spy amongst the market.
7.
Whoever rolls the lowest is going to get infected with a horrible disease.
God. Oh God, it's
Look
me!
at
Share that after I roll.
2 dirty 20s in there. Nice. All right. Lonan, Alfred, Salinas. You all catch sight of a female catfolk priest that is over doing business with one of the merchants. She wears the insignia and colors of Zephora and appears to be purchasing some spices from a male goblin merchant. Before she thanks him, moves along. First sign that you've seen anything related to the Pantheon in this city as you started making your way through.
So, question: are people not wearing anything adorning or like for any god?
Not that you notice. If anybody has any sort of ornamentation or insignias and things to represent the gods, it's most likely kept underneath their clothes, kept more hidden. Does not seem to be a whole lot of outward show of religion here, aside from this cleric.
Hmm. Alfred will turn to Jofreidr. Do do people not really show who they worship around here? Is that normal?
Well, most of us being sailors, we typically have multiple deities. For example, me, of course, my primary deity would be Priora, but there's the worship of Zephora and others as well. Around here in the city, though, Zephora is more popular.
But it's not like, oh, you have something that designates that you worship this god, so we're gonna do something to you. You're gonna go to jail. No?
No, I would worry about more which clan you're from than who you worship. Which, for you, it shouldn't be an issue. You're just visitors, of course.
Okay.
Right, unless you get caught.
Well, if you get caught, you might just go into the arena, but that's another day.
The arena?
Oh, the old arena, it's been mostly just for entertainment these days, but it's had a darker history.
So not like the one we fought in.
No, not at all. This one's been around probably a bit longer, perhaps a bit more blood.
Wait, roll me another set of perception checks. It's no fun to use passives, so not when we haven't rolled too much dice. So, oh, look at that 24 straight out of the gate.
Wow.
Somebody want to roll one for Kiesel? Gets a +1.
I'll roll his.
That's yours.
There you go.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
17.
17.
There you
Okay.
go.
All right. Let's see. Everybody had above a 15. So everybody but Jofreidr and Alfred. Other side of the street, as you continue making your way through, see another merchant stall, and this male goblin merchant is like grabbed the hand of this young female elven child and is like holding this little girl up a little bit, like an inch up off the ground, which is about as all the further this goblin can get her up before he's above his height. And she is hanging there. She is holding an apple in her other hand that she has taken off the, clearly has stolen off of the, out of one of the baskets, but was quickly caught. And the goblin is demanding the child hand over the apple and apologize before he calls for the port guard.
Lonan is gonna, seeing and hearing this, she's gonna start heading over. sorry. What's going on here?
None of your business. Just catch another thief.
Is this child like does this child look like they're like don't have a lot?
Yeah. Very disheveled, dirty skin. Looks like she's been probably sleeping someplace that doesn't have very good conditions, and definite signs of malnutrition that she has not probably eaten in quite some time.
And is just gonna. How much?
But what do you mean?
How much is the apple?
Oh no, she did the wrong.
She's a
I'll-
child. How much is the apple, sir?
I'll come walking up behind Lonan during all this. We simply sent her to get the apple for us.
Give me a persuasion check or a deception. I guess deception check here. 13.
Ken, I would like to use a spell here. Very quietly, kind of coming off of his hand, he's going to step up and use a courier's cover.
All right.
Which when you would you take when a willing ally rolls a charisma check and you dislike the roll. So as long as Kiesel is okay with me intervening.
Oh yeah, we do a little discreetly. Like he walks up behind me. It's a quick little.
This is the usual song and dance for Kiesel and
Oh
Selena.
yeah.
So I can kind of intervene.
Okay.
Deception check.
Yeah.
Please, higher than a 13.
Or a little bit higher.
I'll take a 22.
All right.
No, I think this is all just one big misunderstanding.
It doesn't take much convincing. The goblin individual rolled a nat 1 on his insight check. It's like, all right, it's 1 silver per apple.
Then by that we'll take and then I'll kind of do a little grocery shopping. Like what's he got? Celery, carrots, leeks, fish.
It's good variety of some green and red apples. Not the best of fare. Some are a little bruised, a little beaten, but not overly surprising given the amount of distance they had to travel to get here.
I'll grab like 5 and toss him the amount of money, and then I'll kind of like push the girl to Lonan. Now, you know what Mommy said about carrying money on you, right?
The goblin lets the girl go, and she goes and she's
Lonan's gonna
now
like
you. She's not my mommy.
I didn't say she was. I said your mother.
Give me a persuasion check.
Ah, fuck, dude. I'm just trying to help.
I didn't know Kiesel was also carrying a shovel.
Yeah, for me.
All right. Give me an athletics or an acrobatics check, Kiesel.
Ooh!
Woo!
Ooh. I push
yeah,
through the
we have
physical
the bonus.
fatigue and pain of cringe, and I keep it going.
You gain temporary hit
Nice.
points to psychic damage.
Yeah. Cringe damage.
All right. She goes and attempts to like grab one of the apples from your arms, and you just like immediately expertly pull it away so that she can't go and just like grab it without being more polite about it. She gives it a beat. Just kind of trying to. You can kind of just pick up. Her gears are turning in her head as to how can I get this and run.
Just be patient, and I will let you.
Can Lona like since he kind of pushed the girl towards her, can she like kind of kneel down and just say like quietly, be patient. Give it a second.
All right. Please. She bats her eyelashes a little bit.
Just hurry everyone along down the street a little ways.
Yeah.
Let's keep will give an apple.
I give her 4. Keeping one for myself. That's the it's the dad tax for fucking bailing this girl out.
All right, she takes the 4.
Oh, and I take the mushiest, bruised-looking one, so she gets
Okay.
the,
Just gives that as she puts it in her mouth, takes a big bite, and then just like little bits of apple spitting out of her mouth as she goes, thanks. She goes running off in between 2 of the buildings, and you watch like 3 other kids come up to her, and she hands them out, and they all go running off into this in between 2 of the buildings.
Well, I can guarantee you that will happen again at least once.
Well, I just hope they're smart enough not to lose their fucking hands.
Did
Oh, you're better off just letting them lose their hands, honestly.
Feel
we
better.
can't make everything our problem, but glad that we could handle this situation.
Linus, I disagree. We make everything our problem.
Yeah, I think that's all.
And I'm really trying to get us to stop doing that.
Did the girl seem to be like practiced in this act of stealing? Did she have like a gait to her walk of like confidence after like playing somebody, or does it feel like this is like actually her story, that she's struggling and that she doesn't try to play on tourists and things like that?
Give me an insight or an investigation.
Oh, let's go ahead and go insight. Yep. Seems about right.
Don't really get a vibe one way or the other. As best she can tell, she was genuine.
Okay. Is there like a company or something that we could like donate to that would like give charitable returns to the kids here?
I don't think there's such thing as charity around here.
That's disappointing.
The temple would be about it.
The type of situation where you're lucky if you can help 1 or 2 of them at a time, but they gotta kind of learn how to do it on their own too.
Yeah, Cedri, if you want to help everyone around here, we would have to develop and change the economic standing of, I guess, everyone around here. Have some sort of new industry that allows people to get the money that they need so that they can buy the food that they need.
You could, but I heard this bullshit. There was like a legend of a guy who had so much gold that he just went around his country or continent just giving it to everybody, and it was like in Avaria or somewhere else, and he rode on like a camel or something, and just gold. It kind of devalued gold for a while, and then bullion became the better currency. But I mean, you could definitely uplift people from poverty by just giving them gold.
Well, that
Camel.
story definitely wasn't around here. Things around here have definitely gone downhill since the end of slavery, but obviously no one wants that back. So we try to make do as is.
So it's just a manpower issue?
Not a manpower issue, more of a trade issue. There's less trade without slaves, I
Oh,
suppose.
I thought there was work that was being done, but okay, never mind.
It's been quite some time, but it's just been downhill since, so never really recovered from it.
And it is not our responsibility to fix an entire country, so let's just get on with our business.
Well, fixing this country is impossible. We'd all kill each other before then.
Okay, well, I I think that if we have a good amount of the day left, it would be nice to go ahead and go around. But you said that there's no institutions that help with it.
You could go to the temple, I suppose. Would be probably your best bet.
There we go. Then it looks like a trip to the temple is on the docket.
Well, can
After-
we get something? Did we get something to eat yet?
I have this apple, but it's not to the quality that I would recommend it.
After passing through what seems like countless number of stalls, you find yourselves in front of a modest two-story inn. Sign above the door reads Riab Lodge, painted in bold gold letters on a blue background. The wood of the sign is quite weathered, giving away its age, but the paint appears to have been touched up at least fairly recently. Building itself is an old stone building with wooden tiles up top the roof. Small overhang holds a few inches of very slow melting snow, with the melt dripping down icicles into the mud of the street. And beneath the canopy lies a cobblestone patio with two modest tables surrounded by a few chairs each, all unoccupied. Beyond them stands a set of wooden double entry doors with glass windows in each. Can't see inside without getting closer, but all appears pretty dark beyond. Despite the traffic in the street, there is no one moving in or out of this establishment.
Huh. Here's a familiar sight. And Jofreidr is gonna put the hood from his cloak up, and then we'll start to walk inside.
Alfred will mirror Jofreidr, and
It's like shirts in the temple now.
I don't get it.
Alfred see, Alfred do.
All right, does everybody follow suit? Or at least follow in? Maybe not with hoods up.
Zedri will try to toss over the tails of the scarf, like over top his head. And since he had the scoop, I think that they would nicely sit in, so they're not super obvious. Since he felt very uncomfortable and was probably like holding the edges of it and just like very uncomfortably like fiddling with them after the conversation of people don't really wear that kind of stuff out and about.
Lonan, Salinas?
Lonan's walking in and she's just tightening the laces on her on her bracers in case anyone tries to accost them.
You want to try to accost your bracers?
Us.
Oh, yes. It gives you a wink. Yeah, look, he'll follow after Lonan.
And
Hazel, you following in?
Yeah, like I had a face mask on the boat, but I kind of don't need it in here, so I'm just gonna kind of tighten my cap, my fur cap. Don't really have room for a hood.
No cloak change.
It's no, no one knows me here. I can look a little bouge.
Jofreidr, you try the door, find it opens freely, stepping through the door frame onto a stone floor with a smattering of what appears to be fresh straw strewn about it. The place appears devoid of occupants. There is not a soul inside this building. To your left and right sit several tables, Some hold a deck of cards, while others hold dice, but all of them sit still, with no players to play them. In the center of the room lies a large stone hearth with a low burning fire smoking away in it. Your noses pick up a slight scent of the hearth mixed with the smell of stale mead. Beyond the tables on the left sits a simple wooden bar counter with glass tankards hanging above it, many with a light coating of dust upon them. The walls decorated with a variety of simple yet well done paintings of sunlit forests and prairies, with not a spot of snow to be seen in any of them. And you step in and observe a very vacant location. He said it'd be a little bit more cozy. Was that the word, Jofreidr?
More
Yep.
homely.
Yeah.
Homely,
Homely.
yeah.
Does this
It
seem
definitely meets that
normal?
definition, I think.
Does
Mhm.
this seem normal for the lodge at this time of the day?
Anytime you have been here before, it has not been this dead.
Do we smell any food going or anything like that?
Nope. Smell that little waft of smoke coming off the hearth and some stale alcohol.
Is there anyone?
Ah,
Say that again, Dustin?
I don't know if I missed anything, but is there anyone? You
No.
said the tables were bare. There's
Every
no one at
it
the.
is empty. There is no people, no activity at all.
well, you offered there if feel bad about your home life if this feels more homey to you.
It's a bit more quiet than I remember.
Why
Maybe we
it's
should
a
find someone to get us some drinks, and he'll kind of raise his voice a little bit as he says that.
About that time, you hear a door open, the opposite side of the great room, and an early middle-aged elven man with dark brown hair steps through a door, almost out of sight on the other side of the hearth. You just hear the door creak before see him shuffling across the floor, heading in your direction, but just kind of looking at the floor. It seems to be uh, something in his hands that he's messing with. The closer you look, um, looks like he's cleaning some glasses before he puts them on. His step slows as he catches sight of Jofreidr, but he continues and steps up to the bar. Um, well, I suppose, get you anything, food and drink? And he's just like looking past you, Jofreidr, looking at everybody else.
Jofreidr will stay quiet and look to everybody else.
Any fish if you have any, and any mead if you also have any.
I would hope
Best
so.
meet in town.
So my friend says best meat in town.
Oh, yeah, it's top
It's
notch. I can
all
get
he
you
could.
a couple pictures.
Yeah, several. It's all he could talk about on the boat ride here.
Oh, that's kind of gives a little bit of smirk towards Jofreidr and then looks back to you. He's like, "Yeah, I could get you a couple pictures." And he said, I got some crab.
Ooh,
That
well,
sounds lovely.
It's not fish. We do have a soup. Some fish soup if you'd like that.
no, the crab sounds. Ooh, crab.
Yeah,
You said you had soup. Do you have non-fish soup?
I did. There's some chicken soup. Um,
Chicken soup sounds great.
okay, get some of that. Uh, yeah, I'll go get the mead, some chicken soup, some crab, anything for the rest of you. Still, like, not looking at you for dear.
I'll also do a mead and crab soup.
Well, it's fish soup, but I
Fish
got
soup.
some salted crab.
Sorry, I misunderstood fish soup.
You can put some of the crab in the soup, I bet.
Or you
Looks looking over at Lonan.
I misunderstood. I was just looking around. I was distracted by how empty this place is.
Oh, it'll pick up a little bit later. It's early still. Or it's
Does
kind
he
of like
seem like?
glances at the windows and
Does that seem genuine or
give me an insight check.
okay?
More so, does he seem like he's just woken up?
Give me an insight check or an investigation on yours. Give you the opportunity to go in intel on that one.
22.
Yeah, I'll take an investigation.
He is not convincing you whatsoever that this is just gonna pick up later. 14 on the investigation. No, you don't necessarily get that he just woke up, but you pick up the same thing as Loden, that he's definitely, there's been no activity today. And
Jofreidr's gonna
for
slide
a couple days.
Jofreidr's gonna slide a platinum coin onto the table towards him.
Goes and takes it, bites it quick. Huh. So, doing pretty well for yourself then.
Doing alright, I suppose.
Throwing around big money. She's not
Okay.
here.
Haven't been around here. Try to help right hand.
She's not here.
I figured as much.
She ain't got time for you anyway.
I'm sorry,
And
what's
you're-
going on?
I'm guessing you're her father.
Are you told your friends about her? You know her too?
I don't know her
They've all
myself,
been in
but
my head. It's kind of unavoidable at that point.
What?
You wouldn't understand.
Don't-
You just own a bar, right?
It's a long story.
I'll go get the
Look.
food.
He
He
walked
kind
away.
of, with a huff, goes and shuffles away.
Yes, that is her father. That is Oliona's father.
I can appreciate a protective dad, but she's gonna look around again. This is weird, right? This is real weird.
It's a
I
bit
think
quieter than usual, but it's never much light to me. I understand it.
This isn't like a front for anything, right? Like that's how weird this is. Is that what you're saying? That this
Oh,
is
if it became
totally
a
a front for
front.
something?
If it became a front, he'd look much happier. But no, this is definitely not a front.
And I'm not trying to assume he can only afford to keep the front in business, but yeesh.
Well, I suppose Oliona's probably not here to help him run the place, so it's probably just run downhill a bit. But I know exactly where she would be at.
So, why doesn't he like you?
Would you like your daughter dating a pirate?
I was about to say, as much as we like you, Jofreidr, and trust me, you are a good fellow in my opinion, I can see where her daddy ain't too happy with that.
I
Well,
completely understand that as well. I don't judge him for it.
you treat her nice, you take care of her financially, and she sees the world. I mean, I failed to see really what goes wrong after that.
I'm sorry, but what world is she seeing? These paintings, it doesn't make any sense in this place.
Well,
Are we not going to acknowledge that the five of us just got dragged into a father-in-law drama?
Not dragged in, but made spectator to. I thought you said we couldn't fix everyone's problems, Salinas, so I'm taking the back seat on this one.
The five and a
Well,
half.
to be
No,
fair,
I just wanted.
I expected
I just
her to
wanted a
be
little bit
here.
of. I just wanted a little bit of warning before we walked in.
There has been a worshipful redemption.
Well, normally there's a few
Cybil-
more people to hide us, and normally he's not the one serving the drinks, so we were all caught off guard, I suppose.
Cybil's by one of the tables, like sniffing the chess pieces. There's a lot of there's one game though in particular that had a lot of people around it, so she's very like active around that scene.
She's like
I know.
licking the table leg.
Yeah. Had a lot of people.
We'll also mention, Alfred, with your investigation check earlier about whether he just woke up. One thing you did kind of pick up from him is that he seems a little bit run down. Not that you would be able, with a 14, you don't quite place as to whether it's just, getting up there in age. He's only middle-aged for an elf, but he looks like he is either slowing down age-wise or potentially maybe some signs of recovering from an illness.
Okay. Right. Alfred had picked up something, and that's sort of where that investigation came from in the first place. He did seem kind of worn.
After a short while, he comes back out with a big platter. He seems to be struggling a little bit to get everything over there. Everything teeters on the platter a couple times as he's walking over, but he eventually makes it to your table without spilling everything. And sets down 2 pitchers of mead, several mugs, and a couple bowls of soup. One definitely does not meet Zedri's specs on what would be acceptable soup, but the other one's chicken. And then a couple plates. Looks like it's almost like a crab salad type presentation. That it's all shredded crab. Jofreidr, you would be familiar enough as being this utensils is not a real common thing here. Drink the soup, use your fingers to eat the food. There are no utensils on the set down with any of this.
So kind of picking at
Yeah, Jeffers gonna make sure everybody's had a drink.
Here we are, our first meal in your homeland.
Hope you like the fish.
Yeah, what kind of fish are these? Like carnivorous fish? Are these? Well, I mean, most fish kind of like. Do these come with teeth? I figured there'd be fish with teeth in these parts.
Well, you don't usually eat the fish head.
No, but it's what the fish eats is important when you're eating the fish that eats.
If you want some fish heads, I can get you some fish heads.
Which excellent for making broth as well, especially the eyes, good in vitamins.
I do have a question before we partake in this bountiful feast. Is there anybody else that works here?
Yeah, I mean, when things pick up, yeah, but my daughter helps out around. But she's off praying at the temple.
Well, just so happens we were looking at possibly going to the temple later.
But it's 12 silver for the food and the drinks.
Jeffrey will slide him another platinum.
I mean, you kind of just, again, looking away from Jofreidr, kind of just taking in everybody else. Do you need rooms? You just passing along.
Yes.
How much are rooms?
You need singles, doubles.
Doubles?
All of you, we're going to have to do some doubles. Don't have that many. 3 silver per night per double room.
Zidri will put out a gold before Jofreidr can toss another platinum.
He is
Burning flat.
a sniff, just kind of big inhale that you can hear, and need baths.
Does my
Can get
money
you baths.
stink?
No, if you need baths, I can set you up with baths. It's a service we provide here.
A bath would be lovely.
Yeah. Get the seawater out of your hair, definitely.
Yeah, do you need anything else? Mending. Daughter will do some mending. Get you some hot water for your room. Ironing. Need to send messages. Soap. Bath doesn't include soap.
Yeah, I'll take some soap.
Yeah, you just check it at the counter. We'll get you set up. I got something in the kitchen I better go deal with.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yep. Well, he goes deals with his big pot of something.
Hmm.
Does he have any sort of visible limp as he's walking away?
Not that you see.
Okay.
Just seems to shuffle. Doesn't pick up his feet very well, but not like he's limping.
As he's walking away, Lonan is going to lean over to Jofreidr and say, I think I just got a flash forward of what my brother's going to look like when my niece is grown. It's kind of scary.
We may all end up like that one day.
Yeah, but for you, what, like 200 years? Long after the rest of us are gone, probably.
I mean, I'm already an adult vampire.
Yeah, but
And-
couldn't that put you in between like 50 and, I don't. How.
I mean, I'll
fast
live to be over, 200, yeah? But, I mean, 20 years is still 20 years when my niece will be grown. I'm more talking about the overprotective father aspect, if that's what you're wondering.
I thought you were talking about the old man aspect.
No, that's probably about over 100 years off for him and I, but I'll be looking this fresh face for a while.
You guys partake in the food. It's reasonably decent. Better than the heavily salted and preserved fare that you had on the boat. The chicken soup's decent for if you're avoiding the fish.
Zidra's gonna pop out some of the Atana berries at this point.
The mead is not great. It's decent. It's definitely, if this is the best in town, like Jofreidr said, don't drink anything in town because this is really not top notch. I mean, it's passable, but the innkeep kind of just leaves you to your own.
All right. What? The plan? Or we're just spending the night and then heading off.
Oh, if
Heading
it's.
out, heading out tomorrow morning.
Well, unless I want a historical tour, I suppose we just rest up for tomorrow.
It honestly sounds like the best plan.
It's what, 3 days by horse?
Give or take, yeah.
It's gonna be quicker if we were on just one giant towards Zedri flying something.
Keep presumptions about my abilities. very far-fetched, but I think
I think very highly of you.
could probably be a really great flying thing. You forget that it's not just myself that I can transform.
Oh, can you transform 6 people?
I don't think that I can transform 6 people, but
So, maybe 2 as 2 big giant birds, and then the rest of us can fly on your backs.
are there a lot of flying creatures around here? Zedra's gonna look over to you over there. I don't want to get shot out of the sky or anything.
All eaten, true.
What kind of flying creatures would be common around here?
Right, like Riab area. Not a lot. It's mostly sea creatures with it being coastal town. There's some strange things around, but not flying creatures.
Dragons?
Get closer to the mountains, you start dealing with dragons, and there's a few other strange creatures there. You wouldn't really. Basically, best description would be a more fuzzy pterodactyl looking thing. Never actually heard much about them. It's like seen them from afar. That's the opposite direction from where you're from. So
I suppose you could turn into a gull. Even then, there's not many of those around here, and I don't think they can carry anybody.
Right, like a seagull? Those things are small.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think you would be able to carry anybody.
Very much so. Yeah, tactical planning on transportation, I think, can wait until tomorrow, but, are we gonna go and see your girlfriend?
She's in town, perhaps.
I mean, it sounds like what he said, that she might be back here later, maybe.
Or over at the temple?
I have a feeling she doesn't spend too much time around here anymore.
Was some falling out with Dad?
Perhaps. I mean, see the state of this place. It was always fairly quiet, but never this quiet. And that doesn't just happen overnight.
Well, the crab is delicious, and I'm glad it's no imitation of it either.
It's mediocre at best.
It's the best thing we've had to eat in a couple fucking weeks, so.
That's very
Yeah.
true.
I mean, something that isn't salted is fantastic.
Soup does warm the soul on a cold day.
Oh, and I need it. Every day here is going to be cold.
Every day here is going to be cold.
Something tells me that these might be the warmest days that this place has to offer.
Right, I'm glad that we came at this time of year. If we had to pick a time, at least.
Well, I would say our stint at the Dreamer's End probably decided timeline for us a little more than anything else.
You know, haven't really talked. Dustin. Have you,
Who? Alfred.
Alfred. Alfred. Has there been any other words from the little man with the tattoo behind your ear?
I haven't had anything about the journey, at least.
Insight check.
roll it away.
No, he like came and spoke out
You're in the tower. Persuasion or deception in the tower.
and hasn't acknowledged you.
Oh, he
Sorry,
did
can you-
acknowledge me when I handed him a platinum coin.
You're convinced, Kiesel. He's legit.
Whatever.
No, I mean
21, by the way, Alfred.
Honestly,
wow.
I don't hold it against him. He's got his reservations. I don't blame him for them.
Reservations inside of another. He just points at Alfred.
I think we've lost the plot here a little bit.
Ah.
Well,
So is-
you know, as long as he's fucking quiet, he can stay in there. I hope it's more like a prison in there than it is handing him the reins of a cart.
Are we talking about Brevin now?
Whoever it applies to. Yes, whoever's inside of him.
No, all has been quiet.
I'm not sure if I should be more or less reassured by that.
I mean, if it starts to smell like fish in there, I think we've known what happens to him.
Do you want me to talk with him?
He was quiet before we got into the dream, so I don't see why he wouldn't be quiet now.
Do you think? I know we're here, and there's a lot of books with pictures and everything, but there has to be somebody who knows something about something else, right? And if there's that somebody who can know a little something, I would maybe wager we could find that somebody that could teach us, and this is a long shot, right? A spell to talk to people in that kind of state. I don't know, right? But if we could, maybe find somebody who could bring him out, who could project him, who could maybe like a genie in a bottle, like a genie, those things in like an
Djinn.
oil lamp.
Oi, you are specifically requesting Oracle level abilities, and we're just gonna find somebody to do that for us willingly?
Well, I mean, unknowingly, you could have rolled up to Ashman and gone, "Oh shit, an oracle." So you can stumble into anybody, truly. But I mean, I don't know. Somebody who would have some sort of magical prowess above ours, right? But someone to at least have the ability to, like I said, project or pull him out, or maybe spirit talk. I don't know these things. I barely know the roof above me if it's made of hair or not. But I do have ideas sometimes.
It's
And-
filled with purple foam in the oral cavity. That's the state that we left the Oracle in the first time that we communed with her. I don't
Well,
think
then-
it's a good idea to find somebody on the street and make them beholden to channeling that kind of power.
God, please, the streets aren't so bad, but not even the
Streets
like I
are
said,
streets are mud, Kiesel. It's not even cobblestones.
and it's overrated. But I'm saying if we can find somebody like in a wizard's tower or something, I don't know what this place has to fucking offer. That's what I'm gonna lay that straight up. We could find like a rat, and that would be our best lead. But is somebody who might know something about something else is all I'm saying.
We could.
How
What
about
about
a school of wizards?
A team
A
of
How about the
Wizards?
witch in the woods?
School of wizards.
a witch in the woods.
And
There's a
where's
school
the School of Wizards at?
here in Riyadh.
What the
I
fuck?
I will. Kiesel will stand up and point at Zedri.
Well, why don't you look at that?
Well, that might
Way
not be a
to
bad
bury
place.
the lead.
That may not be a bad place to visit. I mean, we are also looking for other information.
And-
Don't wizards have like towers full of like books that just fly about the place and are probably a fire hazard?
Exactly.
Right, but they're
Kiesel
gonna be a
feels
bunch
vindicated.
they're gonna be a bunch of picture books.
Well, I'm sure the wizards are much more literate than the rest of us.
Okay,
feeling-
Jofreidr, you very much presented that this entire community is very low in literacy rates, but there was an entire school of wizards. So the failures of literacy here are actually due to the fact that everybody who can read is consolidated in a school system for flippin' wizards.
Probably
We're
so.
back to the socioeconomic instability issue.
That seems
I was
pretty likely to
assuming
me,
he
though.
was
Anyone who-
exaggerating.
anyone who's not very literate goes to fight, and everyone who's not or is goes to do magic.
I was assuming he was exaggerating in the first place.
Usually the breakdown is like burghers and peasants and nobles and like the bourgeoisie. Here it's like fighters and wizards, which I guess going to his point to Alfred, not very good for the socio-economics of a place.
No, the stability of a country is awful for that.
Yeah, I mean, I swing gnats around all day. Have you heard me try to talk to anyone noble?
The few times you have, you put them in their place, so I'd say you've done a very good job.
Not exactly very. What's the word for it? Tactful, though.
Look, I have a feeling that most of y'all are quite educated in some capacity.
Yeah.
In our
Yeah.
own fields.
This this divide, pretty normal to me. And when I'm in the cities underground, no, actually, I think we have pretty good literacy rates, just not a lot of people. And never mind. Besides the point, we're looking for a lot of other information. Maybe these wizards will have something about what else we're looking for.
And no offense, they are the most educated people here. That would probably be the best foot forward. That and maybe a 3-mile trek once we're done that way. Unless, an alternative for it, unless the urgency of the situation here demands us to leave immediately, at most haste.
Well, probably better sooner than later, but we have to leave through here. I suppose on our way out we can always stay an extra few days.
How long did it take us to get here? Again?
From the time you left Ashmain to the time you got here, it has been 38 days.
Holy shit. Oh, Oregon Trail level of travel. Oh my god. Given that it's been a fuckload of time since we've left Ashmain, like I said. Also, what time is it in the day right now?
Just a little bit past midday.
A little bit past midday. We don't even have to sit here for the rest of this. If we're here, we can stop by the wizards, spend our time with them, and then come back here, crash, and then we leave. Unless the wizards need to go on a fucking Tonneberry level side quest, then I don't know what to say about that, but I feel like we should actually just, after food is questionable quality, leave to go to there.
We're prepared with
Not
the
a bad idea.
Tonberries.
We've got plenty of cloud light left.
And about the time, yeah.
It might not be a bad idea to drop by the temple, just to be respectful.
I could get behind
Or
that.
not. Oh,
So, do we want to maybe have a split? Have some of us go to the temple, some of us go to the wizard school, academy, college?
I think everybody here wants Jofreidr with them. If we were going to split up, we should probably just go ahead and go in one solid group to both places.
True.
Right. If we get lost, there's no telling what kind of mess we could get into.
I have a thing that can help with that.
What exactly?
So, bear with me as I explain this. I can do it to anybody, but I'll use this as an example. When vampires are like little kids, and like there's a festival or something, and our parents take us to town, a way that they can like keep an eye on us, even if they don't see us, is they'd bite us. And if I drink a little bit of someone's blood, I can kind of like track them slightly. I could do that.
And then I could leave my cat with the other group.
No, one group. I think it's decided.
Wait, that's cool though.
So wait, would this bite turn the other person to a vampire, or?
What do you mean?
That's not how
Vampires
that
are
works.
born.
I was just double checking.
No, it's just I can, sense where you are. I can kind of see into your head a little bit, but we've all already been in each other's head at this point. Just, I drink a bit of your blood and I can kind of get a feel for where you are.
That will be useful.
It's
Very useful at some points.
I have a feeling that some of you are very uncomfortable with how casual I am about this, and as she says it, she's looking directly at Zedri.
Zedri has the scarf like pulled up around his nose. Yeah, just a little bit.
I mean, like I said, when my brother and I were traveling from Ishnar to the underground, like every morning he would, bite me, drink my blood, so that if I ever got separated, he could find me.
Right, yeah, no, I totally agree in terms of like thinking of each other like siblings, but this is a pretty big leap. Just putting that out there.
So it's something you have to constantly like keep re-upping.
Yeah, it's when you go to bed at the end of the day.
Okay.
It's gone. Yeah, it's like,
Oh.
it's back home. It's just, if you're going out somewhere with people and you might get separated, It's, I feel, you know what, I'm gonna shut up.
Oh, it's a good idea.
I don't like the look Zedri is giving me right now.
It sounds like it's something that your family is used to, and Zedri's gonna kind of like stand up and like tuck in his chair a little bit. I totally
people.
understand. Right. I just think that for now we should probably go ahead and stick together. And if I'm being completely honest, well, I do have a little bit of hesitance about that. I was more so making a direct opposition to him, and we'll go ahead and gesture towards Salinas.
But what about me?
Galfrank, we don't need Galfrank. It's fine. We can all go as a group together.
I second that. It's probably best we all stay together. Temple could be our last stop. It's kind of on a different part of town.
Well, if you insist.
But Lonan, for the record, with how desperate as our situation is, any idea is a great idea. But for right now, we'll keep that in our back pocket.
Suppose if everyone's had their fill and drink, I suppose we could head towards the wizard school.
Kiesel will slurp down the rest of his crab and flush it with whatever substance this is. Probably still very bread tasting. Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, Alfred is going to toss a couple pieces of chicken to Cybil, down the rest of the soup, and leave half a mug of questionable drink on the table. All right.
Oh, everybody ready then?
Be
As
on
it'll
our
ever be.
way.
All right. And Jofreidr will get up and start heading out towards streets. Not heading anywhere towards the temple or the wizard school.
All right.
But no one else knows that.
No.
Alfred will button up and follow right behind Jofreidr,
Yep.
Cybil in tow.
All right. As you head back out into the cold air and the muddy streets of Tradeburg, heading back the way you came, back through the merchants, back past the little goblin merchant that you dealt with the apples. All of you very quickly, if you're being in any way, passive perceptions we'll use here, clearly know that you're walking back the way you came and back towards Easthold and back towards the keep that you walked past. As you get within sight of the docks that you came in off of, you take a turn finally and veer off further to the west and find yourself in front of a much different view. Standing before you is a bustling center of activity, a sturdy 3-story stone building crowned with a roof of clay tiles, front entrance covered by a balcony for the rooms above with thick icicles hanging along its edges glistening in the sunlight. A pair of wooden doors stands before you in the buzzing atmosphere beyond. Above the door is a well-painted yellow sign with big bright blue letters that read Blue Dawn Inn.
Sorry, just a quick stop. We'll be real quick. And Jofreidr's not even gonna stop. He's just gonna keep walking up towards the doors.
Right, one group,
Alright.
and Zedri will head in behind him for here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody else?
Following suit.
All right.
Salinas is going to stay outside. Keep an eye out.
I think if Lonan notices Salinas is staying outside, she'll also stick
All right.
behind.
How obvious are they being about staying behind? Are they trying to like peel off subtly, or?
All right. Why don't you guys all roll me initiative? We're not going into initiative, but just as to the order, other than Jofreidr.
Yay. Oh shit! Wait, I didn't roll initiative. You can add +3 to that, so 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, so Jofreidr goes through the door. Alfred, you're right behind if you're going through the door, seeing your large barrel-chested friend head through. Lonan, you'd be right behind them. So if Salinas decides to hang back, Salinas is actually at the back of the line. So nobody would notice Salinas hanging back unless Kiesel looks back after he goes through.
It's the case, and she'll just keep going inside.
And then there were
Salinas left
5.
alone. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. As you step through the doors, stepping into the inn, you're immediately struck by the mass number of patrons in here. Count at least 30, in addition to several staff members. Though didn't notice them on approach, you now notice the diffused blue-colored light in the establishment that presumably is what gives it its name, as your eyes are drawn to the blue stained glass windows that adorn the outer stone walls. Planter boxes sitting beneath the windows with various greenery growing in them. In some places where ivy climbs up out of the planter box and up along the walls, finding notches in the stone. Above you hanging candle chandeliers, which cast a nice soft glow in the places not reached by the stained light. And your feet echo against the wood plank floors, no straw, as you move further in. Air is filled with the rich aroma of good-smelling brewing mead coming from somewhere beyond a large wooden bar at the far side of the room. Jofreidr, where are you headed?
Well, he's gonna step in a few feet, and then he's gonna pretty much stop immediately and look around.
Okay. I will note one thing. You know that this is actually the best place to get mead. That it's the best mead in town, that they actually make it here. But give me a perception check.
I'm not doing well on those.
Don't see what you're looking for. But short time after stepping through the doors with your party, all of you at this point in time would notice that Salinas is not with you. And a young female catfolk comes stepping up to Jofreidr. Appears to be a waitress as she greets you. I'm gonna get you drinks. I'll find you a free table. I'll just give me a moment. Let me look. I'll see what I can find.
Sure. Is Alyona here?
Well, tell me. She goes and she looks at you a little bit. Oh, yeah, she was here a bit ago. Let me see if I can't track her down. Table though?
Hey, we'll wait at whichever table you choose.
All right, sounds good.
So, is there anything you want to tell us about your girl before we meet her?
Nothing that pops to mind.
Excellent.
Well,
She's quite different than me, if that's what you're asking.
actually, I was just gonna ask, what is she like?
Oh, she's always been a barmaid, as far as I know. She's a lot gentler than I.
Mm.
That doesn't tell me much.
I think
Gentler than you is not a metric
It's
by
a-
which.
Yeah, it's a pretty broad range.
Kiesel will inhale deeply through his nose. I think that says everything.
I suppose we're on pretty opposite ends of the spectrum, if you put it on a scale. I'm over here, and she's over here.
What's the scale grading exactly?
I think propensity to destroy or hurt or maim.
So she's a wizard then.
Oh, that would surprise me if she was.
Okay.
She's not the type to. She might swing an axe into your soul. I don't know, but not as quick as I.
Very confused about the dichotomy here. Salinas is not with us. I don't know if any of the rest of you noticed. And Hex, if his little cat isn't here either.
I think he might be keeping an eye out from afar.
Then I will stand in the doorway. And Zidru will go ahead
Andrew,
and...
give me a perception check.
Okay.
Kiesel,
Yes, ma'am.
you know what? I'm just gonna say this is I'm glad there's a fellow romantic at heart in this group.
It's it's in there.
Far, far down.
More close to the surface than you know, but
You know what? That's fair.
Andrew, with your perception check, you do not see any sign of Galfric.
I think we actually know quite well.
Easily gives a grin.
Alfred gives a shrug.
Yeah, to be there.
The catfolk waitress returns a short time later. Just motions for you to follow her as she leads you deeper into the inn. And as you approach the bar, you catch sight of a very prominent sign hanging above it. It states, "If fight you must, please keep it just. No weapons, just blows, and no magic, trust me, we'll know."
That's why Salinas is outside.
She leads you to an empty table and quickly picks up the few mugs still resting there as she looks back to make sure she didn't lose any of you. Alfred, make me a dex save. With disadvantage.
Oh no.
Okay.
Damn, that's a nice disadvantage roll. Okay, well, Zedri, do you have something before?
Zedri's gone. He's gonna go ahead and wait at the doorway and try to see if he
Zedri's
can...
back at the doorway. Salinas is outside somewhere. wandering around the muddy
Sele-
streets.
Salinas is just standing outside the bar at the doorway.
All right, so the four of you are walking up to this table as she's clearing it away, and Alfred, you just get a large force just smashes in to you from behind, pushing you to the side, but you catch yourself with that 17 and keep yourself from toppling over top of Cybil and onto the floor, and turn to see a large male catfolk who appears to be in some sort of a disagreement with somebody else, another male, a human, and he immediately turns on you and yells in your direction, "Watch what you're doing!"
Why don't you watch where you're going?
No, you watch where you're going. I'm fighting this guy over here because he's talking. You're with him, aren't you?
Jofreidr's gonna
No,
step
but when
up.
you're done with him, come find me.
Jofreidr's gonna step and be like, "If you're fighting him, you should fight him and not us, then."
Gives just a hearty chuckle, and he just throws a haymaker right at Alfred.
All right. Alfred will try to dodge.
Horribly misses. What's your AC? I guess just to double check, but I believe you're 15 or 16.
16.
Yeah, horribly misses. Just goes well past you. Gives himself a little bit of spin, leaving himself exposed. You have advantage if you wish to try and swing back.
Alfred's gonna take a shot. What's an unarmed strike? That's
Like a D4 plus your strength mod.
That's the damage end, but
Oh,
yeah, just roll a
just-
d20 plus your strength mod.
all right. A D20.
And I think the damage is just 1 plus your strength.
Yeah,
Unless you have
unless you're a
unarmed strike.
Oh, I get advantage. I'm gonna knock this guy out.
14 as this guy's back becomes turned. You just go and nail him right in the back of the head. He goes toppling onto the empty table that you were just about to sit at.
Whew.
And immediately there are four others that are all getting into this as you find yourself in the midst of a bar fight. Everybody
Ooh.
that's in the group, roll me initiative. You two at the door are not currently engaged.
Oh, that was almost a 19.
Alfred will shake his hand off.
Initiative critical.
Critical. Ooh.
Ooh.
There's an initiative critical? Boy, that's fun.
For rolling a 20. I thought a loaded roll at a 12.
rolling a
It's a
nat 20.
critical.
Oh, I got
No,
advantage for the
Jofreidr.
roll in
Nice.
the first round. Nice.
Nice.
All right, Jofreidr with a 23. You are top of the order. After the first round, Zedra, you would be watching all of this unfold and would have the opportunity to try and intervene.
Yeah, I'm gonna swing
Or
on
grab
the
Salinas and tell him, hey, shit's going down.
I'm gonna swing at the first guy that seems to be coming up towards Alfred.
Okay.
And it's 20 plus strength?
D20 plus strength. Yep.
Okay.
$17 hits. And it's a bar fight. It's a matter of if you hit somebody, you're knocking them out of the fight. So, how do you do this?
Yeah, I mean it's a solid hit. The first guy coming up towards Alfred, probably not even paying attention to me, just gets this fist to the side of the face.
Just watch you get that nice impact like in the movies. And tooth goes flying out the other side, skittering across the floor. And the guy gives it just a little toothy grin, one missing for a moment before he falls over to the side. All right, let's see. Alfred with a 21. You are next up.
Yeah. How many are there in total? You said there was
At this point in
4.
time, you see there's 3 that are still engaged. There's the one guy that was apparently going to be fighting this person. Doesn't seem to have engaged you, as kind of sees you potentially as allies, but there's 3 others that are coming after you.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Yeah, no, Alfred will take whoever comes up first to him. He'll duck down as low as he can and try and come up with an uppercut.
Okay. That'll hit.
Nice. The D4.
But you don't have to roll the damage. It's just a matter of if you hit,
We're
how
just
do you do
knocking.
it? How do you take them out?
Oh yeah, definitely. Just quick swoop down, one up into the chin.
All right. Who is next on the list? Lonan has a 12. What was Kiesel's?
Also a 12.
Who had the
I'm gonna
bigger
assume-
modifier?
That would be me.
Okay, so Lonan, you're up.
Lonan is seeing all of this go down around her. She is just gonna sneak out of the middle of the fray. A bar fight is not exactly her environment. So she's gonna sneak off and go and just try and order a drink at the bar.
Okay. Action disengage.
Action disengage. Bonus action buy drink.
There we go.
Bonus action order.
Very nice, Jofreidr. Kiesel. As you watch Alfred and Jofreidr, Alfred has laid out 2 guys at this point.
Do I see Lonan like fleeing?
Yeah, you would notice her kind of just casual, deftly stepping away and out of the fray.
I'll look in her direction, and in Dwarvish, I'll yell out, "Grab! Can you get me one too?" Before using my bonus action to give myself advantage with fighting spirit.
All right.
Because I can be real useful with this. And I'm gonna turn to the next guy that I see behind me, and guys get smacked. And I'm gonna go for the one and done. I'm gonna fist and just come down Warhammer style with my fists on the lucky.
You'll probably have to actively push advantage on your attack. So
okay. And this is just a straight D20.
D20 plus strength.
I knew that.
Oh,
I got a nat 20 though.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Number of
Make
nat
it good.
20s this session.
What do you do to this guy? How far down do you pummel him?
If I can make his whole face go through like a table to the ground, like I'm just full.
Yeah, you just drop down impact, and he goes face first into the table, causing the table to flip and all the drinks to go off of it and go flying. Lonan, give me a dex save.
All right.
No, not the drinks.
I am.
She's gonna catch him. Or
11. You just feel a wet liquid hit you in the back of the neck and start running down your down your back.
Actually, Alfred would like
fairly cold.
Alfred would like to throw out one of his nets to try and capture the drinks before they topple over for his flash of genius.
All right.
So us
plus
16 or 15. Not up to
15,
20 yet.
You actually do you don't catch them all, but you catch the ones that are going straight for Lonan and keep her out of the line, so she just avoids getting doused in these drinks that Kiesel has deftly catapulted across the room by way of guy unconscious on floor.
Let's try and keep the spillage to a minimum, all right?
please. More people will get slipping and falling, the less we have to deal with standing.
Maybe
All
don't make
right.
him land on me.
As this guy crashes to the ground and the table goes and wobbles back into place, Jofreidr, you feel a tap on your shoulder.
Yeah, he'll turn around.
Cautiously, protectively.
I mean, no one in a fight's gonna tap on someone's shoulder, so he's gonna be kind of confused and he's gonna quickly turn back, but not like aggressively.
You watch the wrong movies. All the movies I see, you tap on
Yeah.
the shoulder so you can punch him in the face.
Yeah.
All right. As you go and casually just look behind, um, don't appear to be any further combatants, but you see a very familiar face. Aliana, will you please describe this figure?
Well, she's a half elf woman, braided back, like light brown hair, just as a typical barmaid.
She's not just typical.
There's barmaid.
All right.
That's it.
Any
Turning
reaction,
around
Jofreidr?
and seeing her, he's gonna be like, he's gonna have like this face that was ready for a fight, obviously, and it's immediately gonna change to a softer demeanor, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't see you there.
I saw you there, causing trouble.
Huh, just saying hello to everybody. You know how it goes.
No.
I saw your father.
Oh, did you know?
He, of course, wasn't happy to see me.
Yeah. But I came here, but I. It's been too long.
That it has. I know, maybe a bit unexpected that we're here, but here we are. These are my friends. This is Alfred, Zedri, Teasel, Conrad, Alfred, and Lonan.
I love that we did it again. To be
I love
fair,
that you
said
Alfred
Cedri is at the
twice.
door, and Conrad and Salinas are both out front. So-
Oh, well, Zedri and Salinas are somewhere, but
Alfred still has two fists raised. He's like looking around.
Yes.
there appears
Is
to
the
be no other
fight
combatants.
actively happening? Okay.
No, it's over.
Oh.
Lonan's walking over with mead for her and Kiesel each.
oh, and this furry friend here is our namesake, Cybil.
So there's just going to search his ears. His ears. Well, it's good to meet all of you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Alfred will stick out his hand. As he said, I'm Alfred A. Yates from Eaglefall.
Oh, Aliona, I'm here. Daughter from here.
A pleasure.
Pleasure.
Lonan, and it's a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure.
Keese will reach out the hand that has the mug of ale. Nice to meet you. Would you be interested in this?
Well, I'm on the clock, but you won't tell I won't. I'll take it.
Nice. Zedri, seeing this whole exchange of the fight and now the conversation with the other possible combatant. But actually, you know what? Give me a history check.
Okay, I was gonna ask. Any connection? Probably not.
It's been 40 days. Memory's getting shaky on that dream at this point.
Okay, yeah. Then in that case, Zedri is going to stick his head out the door and just top of his lungs go, Salinas! Get your ass in here!
Cedric, use your eyes.
Oh, sorry. I didn't notice you were right there. Yeah.
Singing 2
They're
feet
all
away.
talking to somebody in there.
Yes, this is the Wizard College, yes?
No, this is it's the Blue Dawn, and Zedri will point at the sign above the
Yes.
door.
Yes. I thought we were... Why are we not at the Wizard College?
Right, now I think we took a detour, but
Yeah, and
Jofreidr's given some bedroom eyes, I think? So I have a sneaking suspicion that that's probably Aliona.
well, that's... Alright. I thought she was at the temple.
Right, yeah, no. I think we're surrounded by liars. So, we should probably get inside, though, lest we be kept out of the loop. And Zedri will gesture for Salinas to shamefully walk by Zedri in the doorway in order to get himself inside.
Well, far be it from me to be out of the loop.
Right, absolutely. And I guess we'll approach.
Cedric, do you think they would let me stay in here?
I don't know if you want to play. If it's not good music, you're probably going to get punched upside the head. Seems like a tough crowd.
Yeah. I've dealt with tougher.
Have you? We'll make our way to
Everyone loves me.
We'll make our way to the rest of the group. Hopefully, as Selena says, no, everybody loves me.
Yes.
That's about roughly, yeah. He would be stepping up to the group at that time. I think safe to say everybody would have enough of a passive perception to have picked up that comment.
Oh, yeah, and here's Zedri and Salinas. Of course, everybody loves Salinas.
Right,
That is what I'm saying.
no one's ever had a problem with Salinas.
Nobody at
Never.
all. Never.
I believe it.
Lady Aliona, a pleasure. Salinas will give a big bow. Oh, sweeping his cape wide in like a curtsy.
Picked up some interesting friends.
Yeah, we're quite the group. Definitely been through a lot, as I'm sure you know.
From your letters, I've thank you all for being Jofreidr and what you've all been doing, keeping him alive.
Well, I mean,
Keeping us alive.
yeah, exactly. Just as much as we've done for him, he's done for us.
I imagine so.
Speaking of work schedule, when are you off? We're leaving tomorrow morning. I suppose you could take the next couple of weeks off.
Next couple weeks. I don't know if I could convince my father I was at the temple for that long.
Oh, he knows I'm here. He wouldn't know exactly what it is. He knows you're not going to the temple.
I mean, if it's garnished wages, we can surely compensate you for a couple weeks.
I don't know if I can stay away for that long. I'll see what I can do.
So, what are you doing here rather than your father's place?
There's not that. If you've seen him, you've seen the lodge. There's not quite much going on there.
Yeah, it was quiet.
Yes. Well, I picked up some shifts here, and if you ask my father, I've gotten very religious lately. But I've just been here. I paying the bills.
Well, I'm sure my mother will be happy to find out that I found a religious woman.
I'm sure she would be.
But as for bills, I'm sure we can sort something out for that if you would like to come along.
I could swing a couple days, maybe.
Of course. He's just for everyone else in the group. He's very. It's off for Jofreidr. It's a completely different side. Like he seems at peace almost.
Lonan's gonna kind of turn to the rest of the guys. Like, I think we should get ourselves a table and leave the lovebirds to have a moment in peace.
I need to get another glass anyway.
Right, maybe it's a better
Exactly.
idea that we go ahead and go off to the temple.
I heard the Wizards
know what?
College was.
Mm, mm.
I think we should stick
we did
together.
take the
but-
detour, didn't we?
You took a detour. We were actually at the Never Here college.
Looks like a bunch of scholars around me.
Yeah, and that we are.
Drinks. Boys, let's go get drinks.
Yes,
She's
ma'am.
gonna start herding the others away from Jofreidr and Alyona. And give Alyona like a thumbs up as she's walking away.
Should give you a little nod back.
All right, you successfully herding away the 4 others,
Men.
leaving the 2 Torslanders alone.
They do in rom-coms, right?
Yeah.
Any conversation between the 2 of you, or do you want to keep it quiet?
They'll probably have some conversation. I just can't think of anything
Yeah.
at the moment.
Such a Romeo.
It's me in real life too. My mind just goes.
Felt that.
I think now that Jofreidr's not with the other people, she will kind of pull him maybe away a little bit and kiss him. Hello.
Yeah, and Jofreidr would definitely hold her into a tight embrace. He's definitely missed her company.
You finally come home.
For a while, at least.
Suppose it won't be too long before you're off on your adventures again, but
Always come back, and perhaps someday you'll be able to come along with.
perhaps. In regards to my letter, I haven't been able to make the trip myself to Snow Skull. The winter has just been never ending. Usually by now it's been cleared up, but and father got sick, and there's been so much going on.
No, not to worry. I have a feeling what may be behind the longer winters as well. It all seems too coincidental.
What do you mean?
Well, with the dragons and the Iceborn clan and everything else going on. Everything at one
Most-
time, it's a bit odd.
It's rather odd. It's we haven't heard of dragons in the area since your father took care of them, and Iceborn clan they shouldn't be this strong.
Oh, definitely not. Not anymore. There shouldn't be much of them left at all, really. But that's what we're all here for. I would have came by myself, but they didn't let me go alone.
I'm might need them for the journey ahead.
I'm afraid you may be right. We have had some experiences recently that's, I don't know, they kind of set a reality to you.
What do you mean?
Well, we even spoke with an oracle in Ashmain, Zedri's homeland, and had this sort of dream sequence, and it's more or less what pushed us to come here so soon. Uh, there was a dragon in that as well, and we may not have fared as well as I would have hoped. Definitely would
Mhm.
not have fared so well alone.
So, I guess rumors are more than that, then. If Oracle is telling you so.
I'm afraid so, but hopefully nothing can't be sorted out in time. And with a bit of brute strength, I suppose.
Everything can be solved with a little bit of brute strength.
So as these two are carrying on this conversation, the 5 of you at the bar.
Well, this is probably one of the only places in the world that will allow this. Kiesel will smoke at the bar, to light up a cigarette and just
Of all the things.
Bartender lights it for you.
thank you, madam. Wizards College. I figured we need somebody to make sure that Jofreidr comes back home. I mean, I feel kind of awkward. I don't know if that was me. I don't know. I don't know what we should be doing.
Well,
What do you mean?
You want to just leave him here for an hour or two, or
we are
three?
not leaving anyone anywhere. I
No,
thought we
that,
established that.
Oh yeah, I
And
was
Alfred's
speaking.
gonna move like 2 bar stools over away from Kiesel.
Oh, don't not like that, please. This isn't like
Kiesel,
it.
I respect that you do that, but I
Oh no, not in like a public place. Oh fuck's sake! No. No, I'm just some privacy, not like a, give him a pat on the back and pay for his next set of drinks type deal. I'm just saying
no,
like,
I moved away because you're smoking.
oh I, oh, don't be like that. Come on, it's
What do you
fucking
mean? Don't
cold.
be like that.
No, don't be like that. Don't be like that. No. Okay, well then now we're on the same footing. So we go to the fucking. Are we gonna split out of here soon? Or I'd hate to take Jofreidr away from,
No. Alfred said that we're not leaving anybody behind. I was speaking metaphorically earlier when we was talking about the Wizards College. We just they can have their space, but I think that we should probably stay here and hopefully not awkwardly watch.
That is my back is turned to wherever their eyes are.
Mine isn't, and I'm watching them.
Do you find out that Sentry's a warrior?
Look, Zedri, you're taller than me. Do you want to switch so I don't have to see it and you can have your back to them?
No, I'm out of the smoke. It's fine. Zedri will kind of turn a little bit. I just agree. We said that we were all going to stay together. Now we are finally together, and Zedri will look at Salinas, and we should stay that way for the time being.
Yeah, I just don't want to yank the chain. I just,
Yank the chain? What
it's
do you
just
mean?
like, like when you have a fucking, like something on you, you yank it and you're like, hey, come here, dog, animal, whatever, minotaur.
They seem sweet to one another. What do you mean?
No, I mean, like, I don't want it to seem like we're trying to take him away any more than he's already been.
Oh.
Well, I mean, it seems like she's fairly understanding of who Jofreidr is as a person.
Yeah, but, I don't want to cut the time any more short than it already has been, is, or will be. Surely I'll turn to Lona and... I mean, surely you can understand where I'm coming from.
No, I completely do. I do agree with you that, that's why I pulled y'all over here. It might be good, because we do need to go visit the Wizards College, but let them have some space. I don't know, tonight maybe?
All right. Let me actually ask. What do we hope to accomplish at the Wizards College?
Hopefully
Other
not
than-
another bar fight.
No,
That would be entertaining.
I think all of us would end up as puddles on the ground at the Wizards College instead of spilt meat on the ground.
I wanted to see if they had any information about dragons, actually. I know a bit, but if we're possibly going to be facing them up here, I wanted to be a bit more prepared. And I mean, where else would have them but a wizard's college?
Right. They might have the most experience with them.
They might be the most ripped wizards you've ever seen, given their environment, but I wasn't bullshitting when I was talking about maybe trying to find someone who can talk to individuals of two spirits. Or one spirit body trapped inside the other.
Hazel, are you under the impression that the Dreamer is trapped inside of Alfred's body?
No, the
Uh,
other assholes in him.
But the guy that appeared in the dark when we were in the dream.
Broven.
Brevin.
Joe? Brevin.
Brennan.
Denon.
Brevin.
Yes.
Brevin.
Right, Brevin.
That's who I'm talking about. I know we'll get laughed out from here to Kingdom Come about the DREAMER, so really super poised on that. Brindell.
Not Brendel.
All right. Second question. Considering this is the temple, what do you think are the odds that Jofreidr was pulling our leg and there's no actual wizard college?
I'll turn
to go
dead
over to?
dead straight to Salinas. I would never believe that Jofreidr has told a single lie in his life to any of us.
We walked into the... No, gonna call you out on that one. This is not any sort of college.
This was the detour. Correct assumption.
He never told us we were taking a detour. I think you're trying to add stuff into the narrative.
A
I
lie
think
by
that-
omission is still a lie.
I recall Jofreidr saying I want to take a quick detour on our original quest, which now is... Who knows?
Well, it's not a quick detour.
No, and it will not be. Back still turned, not looking.
Speaking of quick detours, how are the other two their conversation going?
Good, I suppose.
We get into a disagreement about who has to tip.
No, they would have their conversation, and obviously she is on the clock, and he does understand that. So at some point, he would let her go back to work and go back to the group.
Okay. Would say, with it being early afternoon, probably be within an hour of being done with your shift. So, as
Shall I
she returns to
continue?
slinging drinks and dealing with rowdy patrons, of which, at the comment that Zedri made about avoiding another bar fight, there was another bar fight that broke out on the opposite end of the table. This is just normal fare. As Jofreidr put it before, at Welcome Home, this is how it's supposed to be in a tavern.
Yeah, and as Jofreidr and Alyona are going their separate ways, he'll say to her, "I will come before you're off."
You'd better. Go on.
Okay.
Pick up
As-
the empty mugs of ale that got tumped over.
Yeah, and
by,
he'll do like the couple steps backwards before turning around, kind of thing.
same thing.
Smooth.
The hands like lingering.
Nice.
The music stops.
You know,
Alright.
the other music starts.
Okay. So, as the party rejoins, with the information of Aliona as about an hour, not really a whole lot of time to be able to venture off someplace else and get back. Conveying that information over to the rest of the party to avoid having to repeat that. The 6 of you are left to have a conversation at the bar in the midst of the disputes over whether it's okay to watch or not and whether secondhand smoke is a concern in Winternock.
Oh, he wanted to try it.
Is that a
Just,
concern?
that-
Are people concerned about smoke inhalation?
Considering
here.
we were like on previous like mud hay floor, whatever like you get from that. Manure tracks.
I mean, one would suppose that it's not good to inhale it.
Yeah, I mean, the last secondhand smoke we got was from pyres of bodies being burned, so...
So zero
So
concerns in my
insensitive,
mind.
so insensitive.
Yeah.
It's a big improvement.
Grandma and grandpa on one inhale, cigarettes on the other.
God.
Dark. So dark.
Burning pyres. We're gonna.
I
continue
know,
the
I
session.
get it. It's my
We're
fault.
continuing the
The admission.
So, sorry, you were going?
You can go. You can go, Dustin.
So this place is a lot nicer. I recommend we just stay here tonight instead.
Did we pay for bloody rooms though?
Give me a gold, and it's fine.
To pay for the rooms here, or
No, we gave him a gold, and it's fine.
Yeah, to be fair, I gave him 2 platinum coin. I mean, he can definitely use it.
You gave him 2 platinum coin.
To be fair, I think as the potential son-in-law, it would look better if we went back. It's a very honorable thing to do. You don't want that guy anymore on his bad side than you are.
Oh, I'm sure he doesn't care if I lived or died.
Then fuck it, we can stay here. Who gives a shit? Yeah.
Well, actually, I disagree. I think he would. I think he would. He would care, but I think he's more on the side of you dying.
You're probably right there.
Yeah, I can agree with that one.
Yeah, no,
Look.
he did not seem fond.
Look, I'll say it again. Well-traveled, strong, a provider with finances, multilingual. What is not to like about this fucking guy?
And we have a house.
And we have no basement on the house, but we have a fucking house.
He is a landowner.
I think that for sake of
Quite
privacy, we should probably go ahead and stay at what? He never introduced himself by name, did he?
No, so we can certainly.
No, he just
Well,
avoided looking at Jofreidr the entire time we were there.
Well, is there really a wizard's college here, Jofreidr?
Yes, there is actually a wizard school.
Zedru's gonna squint his eyes. Is Jofreidr being honest?
It's Jofreidr.
Insight.
You want to roll
I
insight?
perfectly will.
Yeah.
I perfectly will.
Lonan will turn to Aliona and say, "Is there a wizard's college here?"
There is a wizard's
Slow
college here.
rolls.
Zedri, of all people to get upset about lying by omission, Zedri. Yikes.
I was
Wonders
going to
never
say,
cease.
with Aliona contributing to Jofreidr's attempts to convince, I'd give you advantage, but you didn't need it to beat the 9. So,
Yikes.
14. You are convinced.
Okay, good. Sorry, Aliona, did you say something? Zedri totally just zoned out.
Just saying there is a wizard's college here.
Oh, perfect. Well, corroborated truths then. I also don't know that I got to properly give you any sort of I'm Zidri Cicatrius, and Zidri will put out his non-bandaged hand as the other is done in like fabric wrappings.
Leona, Naren daughter? Take the hand. You're off to the Wizards College then.
Well, I mean, we'll wait for you unless they want to head off without me. Or
I
wait the hour
suggest,
and
to my suggestion, I was made the bad guy at that idea, so I think they would actually like to wait for you here and leave as a unit.
Okay. Well, I'm almost done, so I can just come with you.
we'll hang around here. Maybe have a few drinks.
Right?
All right. You continue to have your drinks. Alyona comes and goes as she's tending bar, moving around table to table. So you find something interesting, you can feel free to chime in that you're back at the counter at any point in time. So,
Jofreidr, mind. So, so what does it really mean around in this area? What is the implication behind this attack?
On my people.
Yes, the reason why we're here.
Well, dragons haven't been seen in quite some time, since my father killed one. The clan that attacked my people should have been all but wiped out. And for some reason, they have power that we haven't seen them have, essentially.
Just a little bit more about this clan. I have no I have no experience with the politics of Torsland.
Well, it's the Isbjorn clan. Ice Bears. They're a smaller group, or at least they were or before we fought them. Elves, humans, centaurs, goblins, usual mix. They're quite known for cold damage, cold magic and such. I kind of had the feeling that them and the dragons and maybe this longer winter may have something all in common. It's doesn't make sense for it to all happen right at the same time, does it?
Suppose.
Given the last place we were at, we had the risk of rust scarabs rusting our armor and leaving us in the nude. I think I'd take cold damage over the rusting.
Really? Cold damage. You'd rather do that again?
Then be left but at with you by my side, young Zedri. Yes, again.
No, please, no more cold. This is cold
I feel
enough
there's
for
a
me.
story here.
Several stories.
He was frozen into a block of ice and then crushed, and then Zedri put him back together again.
Not just
Oh,
him.
nice.
But that didn't really happen, of course. That was in that dream thing I told you about. It seemed pretty real, though.
There's been a lot that we've been through.
Like it.
But yes, I would take cold or melting heat than rust if we're having to like A, B, C, D, F tier of damage. Like cold is above rust.
Is there anything else that we should prepare for you, Jofreidr? Like, I think I can look into something to help mitigate the cold, but is there anything else I should look out for?
Cold is probably the biggest thing. It's not really like most of the rival clans. You can't really hunt them down because they're nomadic. Many of the peoples around here are nomadic. They don't have a set home like my people or the people here in Riyadh. This clan, the Eastbjorn clan, they were actually rooted out of here, trying to start a coup quite some time ago, but
Well, if you're leaving the city, you'll need to look out for the Magarulfdi.
that as well.
The what?
Bless you.
What?
The Magarulfdi, they're big creatures. They big wolves. But there have been some reports recently that they've been back around. Tracking Aether users and such.
And how large are these wolves? Like Cybil here, or like
I can't
bigger?
imagine much bigger than those things with the plates on their backs back in Maidenthorn.
Oh,
these
Probably smaller than that.
spectacles.
Zitri looks over towards Kiesel. These are the ones. This is it.
I mean, they're quite large, but I don't think they're quite that large.
We're all kind of leaning towards that. Take notes, buddy.
But do you have any pictures?
Well, images, illustrations,
I
anything.
take pictures of them in my pocket at all times.
Oh, really?
No, I can't say I do.
Okay. Something we can work towards. Big wolves. That's actually really helpful information. Thank you.
And Jofreidr, you said that no, there ain't been any dragons since your dad killed one. How many years ago was that?
A little over 2 decades ago. I was very young, very, very young at that point.
Mm-hmm. Do you think those wizard school would have any information on dragons?
They probably have some history books and writings and such. I mean, I'm sure they participated in helping defend the people in some way or another.
I would say if you're looking for history information, both of you, more so Aliono, would know that the Masters of Lore at the city government would be probably your better location for getting like information about things that have happened. Might be able to get something at the wizard school, but wizard school, I'll point this out. The wizard school is not a place you just like visit.
It's a school.
It is an academy to train magic users from throughout the region. It is the only place where they train magic users in this region. And so background information, Jofreidr would have a little bit on this. Aliono just being a woman of the people and knowing everybody that comes into the bar and knowing pretty much anything she needs to know, or anything you want to know about Riob, would know that it's like they go out and they find the people that have the ability to manipulate the Aether and offer to come to bring them here and train them. It's not a whole lot of walk-ins welcome. It's more recruit the people that already have the capabilities to do these things and then train them. So not your typical like university that you're like going to go in and do a bunch of research or go ask a bunch of questions and they're going to tell you things. It's more so, well, this is where we train people.
It's like walking into a Freemason meeting.
What can you tell me about? Oh, I'm not supposed to be here.
I was not supposed to look behind that curtain.
Well, if it's information you're looking for, it's the wizard school is maybe not the best place to go. Where was the? He said, what was the?
The law
Masters of Lore.
Master of the law. Ooh, way cooler than law master.
The master of the law will have what you're looking for.
Zitri looks at Jofreidr. Jofreidr, you're really slipping here.
Oh, she does live here.
It's true.
You lived here.
Thank you so much.
Not here. I lived to the east 3 days.
West.
West.
No, no, no.
I
I wanted
mean,
that to
the-
continue. You were saying east the entire time.
Jeff lives to the east 3 days out.
Hey,
To be
I'm
fair,
going
in
to
Jeff's
Nebulous.
defense, his original lore document did say
I'll
it was
say
to the
east.
east.
Oh, okay. I wanted us to get like 6 days out from where we actually were.
Oops.
I got the history, not the directions.
A brief detour. Brief detour.
I mean, do y'all think it would be good to go try and find some extra information on dragons before we go and try and face one? Like I said, I know a little bit, but
Yeah, if we can get any information on what type of dragon we're dealing with, or any sort of weaknesses or sort of defenses that we can put up, I would love any amount of time to get us together.
is that where we want to head after this?
I mean, if we're going to need like a student ID to get into the Wizards College, might not be worth the effort even to look over towards Alfred, take care of the passenger.
As you're all having this conversation, doors swing open, which is of no real note. That has been going on the entire time. Aliona would have reason to, like keep a general view of what's going on. So she would notice this individual more so than anybody else. If you all want to roll perception checks, you can. Aliona already succeeds, so she doesn't have to roll a perception check.
Ooh,
I've always
I guess,
got
I
an
guess
eye
it's her
out.
job.
I love rolling dice.
I think we all have eyes out.
It's a security thing.
Damn.
I just keep an eye out.
Alfred
Yeah.
doesn't have eyes out.
Oh,
Perception
a crit
fumble.
Fumble.
Your eyeballs fall out of your head.
Secondhand smoke.
Oh, that
Yeah,
secondhand
got
smoke
it.
is
Nice.
is panicking him.
There's a cloud of smoke right in between Alfred and the door. It's like the eclipse.
Your eyes started watering a little bit.
All right. With
can't
those
see.
lovely rolls of 2 dirty 22s to 18s, Alfred, Salinas, just sitting back, listening to the conversation. Alfred trying to keep the smoke out of your eyes. Failing miserably, but trying.
You're
But
streaming down his face.
the rest of you, the 4 of you, as well as Aliona, I'll notice this individual come in, and he is just like thick clothes, snow caked. You guys, most of you are Southerners, so don't have a whole lot of experience with what it looks like to be stepping in out of the snow after you've fallen into a snowdrift. The snow is just like packed to this guy's clothes. He's wearing some thick furs, and they are just caked in snow. And just stomps off some cleated boots on the front door. As he goes, just pulls off a set of goggles off the front of his face, revealing just like this wind burnt face, long bushy beard, and he goes and just makes a beeline straight for Aliona at the bar. All right, I'm going to need whatever you got that's warm. The usual, probably 2 pitchers of mead. Oh, whatever Rowan's got cooking back there, that'll be good. It has been a bracing journey.
Where are
I'm
you
sorry.
coming from?
Oh, I did new here. Yeah, just running the trade route. Just finally got through that snow. Coming in from oh, did pretty much run the whole coast, but snowed Skull and a few of the encampments along the river. It's been a bear out there. The winter just won't give up.
Got that right. He'll be filling up his pitchers. And you're coming in from Snow Skull. How is it up there?
I don't know where the people went. The bit abandoned. It was a little bit disappointing. Thankfully, didn't have much trade left to be done. I was a bit out of supplies at that point, but was able to find a few things. Hopefully, the people there don't mind picking up a few odds and ends. Food. Took shelter in one of the houses there for the night. And yeah, I don't know. Rough deal, I suppose. I was going to stop up to the port guard and report it, but yeah, they ain't gonna piss around with anything in the surroundings.
It, no one was there. She'll hand the pitchers over to him, and
It's just like pours the pitcher into one of the mugs, just like overflowing. No care for like doing it deftly at all. Just throws back a big swig. Nope. Usually, group there to greet, do some trade. I was a little bit delayed, but suppose didn't look like too terribly much damage. But yeah, no sign of anybody. Must have moved on. I don't know. Solvers are much for traveling around and nomadic.
suppose. Let me get your food. She'll go back to get a plate of whatever's cooking.
Okay. I would say those of you that observe this individual coming in would have also picked up anything that was said in that conversation. Selena said, Alfred, you can roll again.
Ooh, well, let's see.
Can't get worse, Alfred.
No,
Another
Uh,
nat one.
I
another.
can only say the same.
Don't say that. It'll be that.
Oh,
Just
It really
enough.
was.
Just enough. Salinas, you're just sitting too far away at the other end of the bar that you just hit bits and pieces, and it doesn't seem of much consequence. You miss all the important words to make it make consequence of any sort to you. Guy talking about ordering food. But the rest of you all overhear this conversation.
Yeah, Jofreidr's been quiet and listening pretty intently the whole time. The entire time that from the point he walked in to going up to the bar, he's just been following him with his eyes, just paying attention to everything essentially.
Paint a picture, it lasts longer.
I'm sure you will. Would you like to pay for the painting?
Are you any good?
No, but I may have some friends back in Snowdslaw.
Oh, you know what? To pack up and leave?
That's what I'm here to find out.
Oh. Good luck. Didn't look like anybody planned for a departure. It was a little bit hasty. Things were a bit of a mess.
And,
But the path's open.
was there anything else odd around the
It's-
area?
Aside from the constant howling.
Howlin'. Like
like
wolves?
big wolves.
The Magorovda.
The Gorovda.
Yeah.
The big wolves.
Is that just gonna hand
You
over a
folks,
straw?
you said you had friends. You not from around here?
No.
Now, can you spell that for me, please? Zedri's just holding out his notebook. I really
you.
tried, but the pronunciations here, I'm trying to wrap my head around them.
You know what? That's a good point. I don't think accent marks, any linguistic funnies, squiggly lines over O's or N's or Z. The C is pronounced like Oris.
But yes, we're all just visiting. We're a traveling band of actors.
Let's say that.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
in a lot of
Don't
things.
don't suggest you're going to have much audience heading to Snowed Skull. It's a bit vacant. It's a good, hard 3-day trip. I didn't have Lucky in his team. I don't think I would have gotten through there as quick as I did.
Who's lucky?
Oh, Lucky's my dog.
Oh, you have a dog as well?
You got a dog?
Cybil will poke her head out from underneath the table. This is
That's a
Cybil.
nice looking dog.
She's a wonderful dog.
Interested? Could use some additional dogs. Are you interested in selling?
No, she's not for sale.
Oh well, had to ask.
I appreciate that you see the value in Cybil, but respectfully, no, thank you.
Fair enough.
At this point, Eliana will come with the food. It's laid in front of him.
There's your
sure.
spelling.
Thank you.
Outside
Nice.
of the how do I say it again? I am so sorry.
Magorovda?
Grolda. Outside of them, what other creatures tend to haunt the snows and the hills?
Well, I mean, it depends on where you head. It's bits of nasties about anywhere you go. But that's the one causing the most trouble here lately. Can't hardly pass a step without hearing them howling off in the distance. Thankfully, I don't truck much with the magic types, so they don't really come too much near me. You being a bunch of actors, I'm sure you'll be fine with them, but again, not much of an audience in Snowed Skull. Honestly, not much of an audience in Snowed Skull, even when it's occupied. No offense to your friends there.
They've always been the rougher bunch.
I'm sorry. Where's my manners? He pulls off his icy gloves, more mittens, pulls them off, shakes out the snow on the ground before placing them on the counter, and just reaches his hand out to Alfred, the dog owner.
Mhm.
Lake's the name.
Pleasure to meet you. My name is Alfred. Alfred A. Yates from Eaglefall.
Oh, fancy folk with your last names. They just call me Lake the Reclusive.
Like the
Yes, and
reclusive.
Alfred's the leader of our troop as well.
Nice to meet you. You like the director, or I think that's what they call it.
Right, I direct us at many points in our journey as we go along.
You do any of the classics?
Many of the classic moves that you will see on in any sort of troop.
Give me a lovely deception check.
Cool, thank you.
We actually performed recently in Sid Spells. It's a
They're very
news
good.
skit, some escaping prisoners. It's quite entertaining.
He rolled a 2, so
Nice.
safe.
Even with our
Ah.
terrible lies.
It's so
Is
hard to
there
make
any-
that bad.
Is there any you think people around here would particularly like to see?
Oh, I mean, I just, honestly haven't seen too many plays myself. I've heard some. There was this one with Romulus and Julie, I think was, I heard that was a good one.
Yeah, it's a classic love story of two teenagers who kill themselves.
It's a
Oh,
trap.
never mind. It doesn't sound like a good one. Never mind.
No, it's awful, awful. You wouldn't like it. No.
It's a
If you want
tragedy,
something
not a
else,
romance.
if you want something a little bit more palatable, we do other types of work.
we
He'll-
do some for children as well. A little bit of juggling, jokes, he's and haws, all that. Magic tricks with animals as well.
we do
A great
music.
improv where we pretend to be adventurers.
Alfred will turn to Salinas. We have a lovely performer amongst us as well.
All right, this has been long enough. If we're doing this, we're gonna doing this properly. Sneeze is gonna pull out his fiddle. I'm sure a bar song will. Yeah, a bar song. It looks over at Aliona. Any suggestions for this crowd?
Something they can fight to.
Mortal Kombat
Alright.
theme song.
Let's see if I can pull off a bar song you can fight to.
Let the corpses hit the earth.
By Barding Pool.
Yes.
It's classic.
Is that in Salinas' vocal range?
I don't know.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Selena's is
Maybe it
definitely a
is.
tenor.
That's what exactly
All-
I'm saying.
All a vocal fry is just pushing more air out of your fucking esophagus.
Right, but it's something you have to train, something you have to work on.
Well, you can throw your voice for a night. No big deal. A little bit of blood next morning and never hurt nobody.
Zetri's gonna lean into Lake and just say, "Hey, you were talking about that play, Romulus and Julie.
Yeah, it doesn't sound very good.
No, I think you were thinking of Romulus and Hercilia.
Is that one better?
No, I mean that one's like a historic play. I turn into a wolf, and so you will just lean back defeated. The animals they were
That's
talking about
great.
training had sold me.
Yes, it was.
Selenas goes to start playing, and then Zedri turns into a wolf and he trips.
So she's
Is that
not
a flight of
doing it in
stairs?
here. Not in here.
Is there a ladder somewhere?
Oh.
I'm sorry, I've been kicking you all night.
We've all been kicking him all night.
Kicking him is what started all this.
Do you turn into animals? I mean, I've heard about the shamans doing that. That's something you do.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm also type into something a little more primal. I have like a spirit that's like deep inside of me that I can manifest through magics.
Sounds interesting. Me looking to get out of the acting game, something a little bit more legitimate.
I mean,
Legitimate.
hey, if you're willing to offer us like a passage through to a place
Well, I mean,
like
you.
Snow
I
Skull.
don't have any use for the actors. Just
Oh, you're scalping me from my troupe.
no,
And
I'm just
since he
asking if
hesitates-
you're interested in other work.
I guess so. How long term are we talking?
Wait a minute. I think we would need to go to the acting union about this. We're contracted workers.
I mean, it sounds like a whole lot of mess. Never mind.
It is. It's a lot of bureaucratic bullshit. The union guild thing. Oh my god.
So much paperwork than it's worth, honestly.
Oh my god. Yeah. It's a
That
headache
sounds
even if you
awful.
can't read.
Do you know how long it took me to find him? To find someone that could fill this role?
And to teach them how to read at that as well. That took even longer.
Reading.
I know. Tell me about it.
Are you not one?
Highborn folk.
Oh, so you're not literate. Okay. And Citra will just turn his interest.
He's
I
just gonna
lit-
take out
I-
one of his knives and start cleaning his like dirt under his fingernails.
I'm literally very good at my job.
Your
Sure
producer
you
will lean
are.
to Zedri. Did you think I was joking?
No, I didn't. That was the thing that I was hoping was a lie the most, but it is astoundingly true.
like
Alright.
just returns to his mead and his food, and after a time he kind of finishes things up and looks to Aliona and you got rooms, bath, any other resources?
Of course, let me look at your room and is there a bath as well?
Yeah. These old bones don't do as well with these trips. Also, you got uh room in the stable out back. Put the rest of the team in. You don't have a
Of
problem.
course, of course.
Owner's always been good with me bringing Lucky, and I assume that's probably not a problem.
He's fine with it. I'm fine with it.
Oh, sorry, I didn't catch your name. I know
Oh, Aliona.
everybody. Oh,
I've
it's good to meet
Aliona.
you.
I'm new here. Yes.
You look familiar. Work
Ever,
anything else?
if you've ever come to Rhea Lodge, you've probably seen me.
Ah, yeah, I think I stayed there a few times. Little nicer accommodations here.
It's true.
Anyway, yeah. Key?
I'll get it for you. Get his stuff ready. He needs for the day, for the night.
Splendid, and he'll lay a couple gold down to pay for all of his stuff and start to walk away.
Alright,
Oh.
well that
That was fucking weird.
was...
Why the lies? It was so unnecessary. A performing troupe? And then
It just kept on going.
I like to think of it as deception being a knife that must be sharpened every once in a while. You know, you
so
get
good at it.
we don't want to get bad at it when we need it the most.
Am I a bad person?
No,
I just fell right into that.
It's natural. It's like a muscle. You know, sometimes you need to be able to do that.
also,
I think he
we're
would have
bad with spells.
respected us more if we told him we're just adventurers.
and you shot
Yeah,
down the
that-
possibility of chartering a trip with him over towards Snow Skull. He has animals for travel.
That bozo. We can get animals. It's no big deal.
I
What it sounds
understand.
like he has dogs.
I didn't
and a chicken head.
necessarily not want to buy any animals. I just didn't want to sell Cybil.
No, that's fine. I wasn't trying to sell myself either in my services, but what I'm trying to say is the fact that we very much missed a golden opportunity to try to travel with somebody who's called a recluse. So I mean, sounds like he said pretty good.
He's absolutely someone who knows his way through the areas we're going to be in a lot of trouble in.
Are we not going to acknowledge the part where Jofreidr's city is empty?
One thing at a time.
The pass is still open.
Yes, the pass is open, and that's the important part.
Let's get there first.
They're not gonna just up and disappear. If they're not in Snowstall, there's one other place we can check.
The wizard school.
Yes.
No, the temple.
Fuck.
Yeah, for
Actually, I think you can let the wizard school go.
I'm probably dealing with. You know what? Zitri's
can
just
go
gonna go
there
ahead
in
and
30
ask for
minutes.
some mead. He's like, he's squeezing his hand.
Okay, to be fair, who brought up the acting troupe first?
It was
knows?
Jofreidr.
Ah, I love
Aliona
it.
will pour a mug of mead for Zidra and say, "It's on the house."
Thank you.
What are 5 things you can touch?
God, now all I keep thinking of is like, fuck, we did just miss out on an NPC nicknamed the Recluse. Oh my god. Oh shit.
His dog Lucky was actually the star. That's what we were going for.
He talks in like backwards dwarvish. Like it was a whole bit. We've been working on it for.
Well, if we find it necessary to have a guide to my home from a man with a team of dogs and a sled, we can find him in the morning.
You know, hopefully he gets so drunk he forgets this, and we just tell him the truth that we're an adventuring party who is looking to slay dragons.
He might laugh at us more.
Well, fucking tell. I don't know. Let's just hope he gets so drunk he forgets us, and we pay him to fucking go where we need to go. Then.
I think that we're so used to people making fun of us for all of the different things that we've been facing in all of these non-believers, but we can't just blatantly lie to people. It's saying crazy things. We have to make it reasonable at the very least.
Right, we have a name to uphold.
I suppose you're right. I'm not sure what we exactly need a guide for, though.
I mean, yes, we have a one right here.
I'm not.
Gestures at Aliona.
Around the city, yes, but so your guide is right here. Gestures to Jofreidr.
Okay, quick question. Briars, do you got a D20 on you? Everybody's got a D20, right?
Oh
I'm
yeah.
about to grab one.
Give it a sec.
Just reach
Everybody
over.
else and
Multiply it by 2.
it's gonna have you all roll a perception check.
A brand new, never rolled pair of dice.
Ooh.
I can get it open.
Time to put on the magic lights here.
Keeping up with them perception checks.
Now let's see if the dice behave on their first rolls.
Right, let's see.
Ooh.
Got little dinosaurs in them.
Nice.
Aw.
Perfect.
Are they different dinosaurs? Like one's a Stegosaurus or something?
Honestly, I can't even see it. Oh, it's a Brontosaurus, I think.
Peak dice design.
Yeah.
We live for the details.
I mean, the other thing that we should acknowledge is that there are giant wolves that hunt magic users. Will almost certainly have to deal with.
Well,
What'd you get, Briars?
wasn't Sentry specifically looking for them?
18.
Nice.
So it kind of works out if we have to deal with them.
I was thinking though that was more in like an anthropological or like a zoological manner. You know, from afar, sketch them in there. I mean, we could wear their fur too. I'm not opposed to that.
Honestly, if we could find a pelt, that might actually serve enough, but all I saw were those paintings inside of the lodge.
Lonan, Zedri, Kiesel, Aliona. I'll notice the lights dim inside the lodge. Quick glance around tells you that it's darkened outside to some degree. Cloud cover more than likely is blocking the sun, which is preventing a lot of that natural light that was coming in and diffusing into that blue color. As that kind of goes away and gives way to the candle lights, shouldn't be darkening this much, and it doesn't just pass. It stays solid.
Well, I know you told me to stay off of it, but the wizard school and a bunch of magic hunting wolves, it kind of makes sense.
And the wolves can be good practice for the dragon.
I
Is there something
don't-
going on outside?
But this isn't normal.
Yeah, it feels weird.
Elena will look out of one of the windows.
Looking out, there is thick clouds have obscured any view of the sun, and you just catch. It's not easy to see out of these windows, very like anything specific, but you notice things like floating, that there is clearly some sort of storm picking back up again. So much for winter being maybe heading out.
This will make travel a little more difficult for you.
Are storms like this common?
Yes,
In the
but not this time
winter.
of year.
Jofreidr, Alyona, didn't y'all mention something about when there were dragons nearby, there was cold? More cold?
That's very much a possibility. More of a theory, if anything. The winter has seemed a bit blonder, more harsh, perhaps, ever since.
Can dragons change the weather?
If I would imagine with powerful dragons and the magic around them that anything could happen. If it's a ice dragon, then it brings cold weather with it at a stronger degree. I mean, think of the dragon that lives outside of Ashmain. Would I be
Starting
correct
to
in
hear winds picking up outside, a little bit of a whistle.
am I correct in saying that, DM?
Repeat what you were saying.
That powerful enough dragons, when they enter an area, they can, like an ice dragon, could affect the cold weather.
Oh yeah,
Okay, that's like
that'd be
that
within
makes-
your knowledge.
Yeah.
So, do you think it's a possibility there may be a dragon coming here? Is that what you're saying?
I wouldn't put it out of the question.
Alfred will get up, start making his way towards the door. He'll look back before he gets to the door.
I'll follow behind belong. I'll follow.
Where you belong.
I follow where I belong.
Zidri will lean in to Aliona and say, "Hey, out of all the places to probably go to right now, I feel like the lodge is probably the best." And Zidri will get up.
Alone, and I sure hope you are wrong, but in case you are right, probably shouldn't be here.
I'm not saying that it'll attack us or that it's even how close it is getting to town. But there's. And she's gonna look over at Lake, wherever he went. Give me one moment. And she's gonna go over to him. Sir, can I ask a quick question?
So Lake is gone at this point.
Oh.
He went to go grab his bath. So if you want to knock on the door and go talk to Lake in the bath.
Nope. If she doesn't see him in the tavern, she's just gonna.
Yeah, he's gone.
Do you know which? Never mind. Let's just keep an eye out, I guess.
What was it?
I'm just. Dragons are real powerful creatures. They have. I. More than just being curious about whatever chaos it's causing, I'm wondering why 20 years later they seem to be making a resurgence after everyone thought these dragons were gone.
I remember a story. There's a story in the Norborn Peninsula about a famous hero who slayed a large black dragon. And I also know that in a magic library I found a book telling the true story that the dragon was only ever imprisoned and never defeated. Jofreidr what are the odds that this dragon wasn't defeated and was simply imprisoned and has just finally made its way out?
I suppose that's always a possibility, but if he was just imprisoned, he is missing a few digits.
Hmm.
You gonna hold one up?
Yep.
That is a possibility. I guess we could keep our eyes out for that.
I suppose something that large could live without it.
I mean, in any case, we need to go and see what's out there. Whether we are fighting it or not, we need to know where it is so we can make our decision. Because we can
Alfred,
also
you're
just get the
up towards the door, right?
Mm-hmm.
As you near the door, you can hear just the doors start to rattle a little bit as wind is buffing them, and the whistle of that wind going underneath the door as it seems to pick up. Uh, you'd surmise with your intelligence that the winds have picked up from the casual little breeze that was going when you came into town to 40, 50 mile an hour winds are picking up outside. And you see a couple snowflakes, some flurries blowing underneath the door.
Well, Alfred, if you want to go outside, I got your back, but weather's getting
It's
pretty
just
bad
another
out there.
blizzard.
Is there like an upstairs to the establishment?
Yeah, it's 3 stories you observed from the outside.
Is there an attic on top of the third story?
No.
The third floor? No. Ileana, what are the chances of there being an empty room on the
Or I could find something for you. What do you have in mind?
whichever one's like open and unlocked? Actually, I don't need to stay in it, and I'll actually like kind of make my way towards that instead of going outside on the ground floor. I'm actually gonna make my third floor, kind of one by one, try to look for an empty room.
I'll remind you
can-
also that as you approach, there is a balcony on the front of the inn that the rooms on the upper floors exit out onto balconies.
Okay.
Lonan will follow Kiesel.
Yeah, same with Alfred. He'll pick
guess
up
I
what he's
could-
putting down.
Go them to an empty room.
Okay. All right, you go up to one of the rooms on the top floor, pass through the empty room. Decent accommodations, but you're not so much concerned with that at the moment. And what are we looking for, Kiesel?
Hopefully not a closed door or something that's maybe left like somewhat ajar. I would be outside. I don't want to walk in third room.
No, you're in a room that Alyona
shit. Okay.
let you into that's empty.
Now's the time to start causing shenanigans. So I'll exit towards the balcony on the third floor.
Okay.
And unlike this past weekend, I will look directly up into the sky with no eye protection. Well, now, of course, I will make sure that my hat is on, pull up my face mask so only my eyes are, and bundle up real tight.
All right. As you step to the door out to the balcony, as you go to open it, it's like pulls against you for a little bit as the wind is getting so strong outside that it's actually like the air gets sucked out of the room. But you're a strong fellow, able to pull that door open, step out, and you can see what appears to be the beginning of a blizzard that is quickly eliminating the ability to see much further than maybe a couple buildings down the road. Nothing in the sky that you can see beyond the diffused light that is the little diffused light that is able to bounce off the clouds and pick up a little bit of illumination, but it has gotten severely dark out and snow hits you in the face. There isn't much to see out here.
With my eager perception looking up into the sky, would I be able to even think that I could see anything flying above or anything?
Always give it a shot. Roll a perception check.
Certainly try.
Did
Alfred
everybody
would-
else go up there, or was it just Lonan and Kiesel? And now
Alfred
Iona.
is Alfred's with them.
Okay.
Alfred, instead of
No.
protection for his eyes, would like to go out with some enhancement for his eyes.
Okay.
He's got the all-purpose tool, so
Okay.
he's going to use that as cartographer's tools and take the periscope that would come with it,
All
and
right.
see if he
Ah.
can glance out any further than Kiesel's natural.
Dude,
I'll give you advantage on your perception.
Heard
And
that.
Nice.
Thank you.
while they're doing that, can Lonan climb from the balcony to the roof of the building?
Give me an athletics or acrobatics.
Who is
Oh, with
Oh,
an advantage too. How?
As
So-
Sad.
as
I
I
So
would
look,
sad.
I would
Can
like to
I-
use a spell. Alfred would like to use chaos dice. Alfred would like to fumble with some of the periscope, and he'll like adjust some things. Do you want me to actually have a d20 for this?
No, you're okay.
For the
Lonan,
flavor.
roll again on your acrobatics.
Okay.
Sorry, I should have given you disadvantage. So
Oh.
No.
Ooh.
22 and 21. Nice. Very nice. Even despite these gale force winds that have picked up, you are able to grab a hold and swing yourself up on top
Mhm.
of the balcony roof and get yourself on top of the building. Alfred, you see lots of snow.
Okay.
So now being kind of out
Mhm.
in the storm, but also away from a lot of other people. And even though Lonan's sight is definitely diminished,
Mhm.
if she focuses, could she kind of like try to hear anything that sounds outside of a storm?
Can try. It would be disadvantaged still because you do have roaring winds. So
Yeah.
hearing isn't going to be much better. Senses are going to be very frazzled in this condition.
Mm-hmm.
But you can definitely try.
What do I roll? Perception?
That'd be a perception with disadvantage.
Okay.
Damn, that wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Okay, with a 21, you do not get the sense that there is anything resembling if you're looking for wing beats of any
Mhm.
sort. Don't get that impression. You are fairly confident that the only sound that is out there is this is a natural or potentially an unnatural storm, but it is still a storm. It is not a byproduct of a very, very large draconic beast.
Or even-
Alfred, since you're out there with your perception check, roll me an investigation. Alfred.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you.
I thought you were talking to Lon and hearing things.
No, sorry. I segued to you real quick.
Sorry. Oh, we're doing great. Oh, that's not terrible.
Okay. Lonan, give me an investigation.
Yes, I can do that.
do I get to roll 1, 2?
Yeah. You're out there. That's fine. Damn, Lonan's on fire with the rolls tonight.
Thankfully, one of us.
Second nat 20
Oh,
Oop.
nice. 18's
that I
not bad.
decided to not get.
Alfred doesn't reach this conclusion. The brain's a little bit on the fritz. It's all the static outside. But Lonan and Kiesel, you both reached the conclusion that, okay, if the path and the trail to Snowed Skull has been closed because of snow for a long period of time, if there's another blizzard coming in, you're either going to need to move fairly quickly, or you ain't going to get there. And you're going to be snowed in. Just enough knowledge of the amount of snow that is blowing through the air and the information you've received from Lake and Aliona that dallying in Riob is probably not in your best interest. Unless you're fine with just staying here for another couple weeks.
Ooh, okay.
4 weeks.
Lonan's gonna go and drop back down to the balcony.
Give me another
And-
acrobatics, but you don't have to do disadvantage this time.
All right.
You got a pretty good gauge of it at this point.
Nice.
No problem.
Um,
Smoothly slip back into swing out of nowhere as nobody's expecting you as you just kind of come flying in with the storm.
Yeah. We should probably get going tonight.
This
Or-
blizzard,
Now.
this blizzard's gonna keep us here for maybe another month or two. It's not good.
No time
No,
like the
you're not.
present.
Jofreidr's not trying to give a slow nod.
Oh,
Or you may be
Yona,
right.
Jofreidr, do you know what's our best bet as far as traveling through the snow?
We could try to get some horses, but people like Lake. Team of Dodds in the sled.
Just go try and convince him to come help us.
Sled enough for 7 people?
Unlikely.
How would we fare if we went on foot in a blizzard?
I guess that depends on your own endurance.
So just to clarify, was Jofreidr specifying it was a 3-day ride on horse or a 3-day walk?
It would be a 3-day walk.
Okay.
Horse would speed it up.
I suppose we can try and get some horses. Worst case scenario, if we need to hunt her down, if it gets too bad, Salinas, he can make that thing. That
Yes.
tent. Yes.
Yeah. I think in the past I haven't been able to fit any horses in it though.
Well, I mean, in a blizzard, I think the horses are the worst of, or least of our worries.
Perhaps then we just go.
We just have to leave now.
Agreed.
We just go ourselves. Aliona?
It's a little impromptu, but
It is
Unless
fun.
you,
Oh.
unless you want to be stuck at work for the next couple of weeks.
Any excuse to get out of that, I'll take. And I'm not letting you just walk out again. Okay.
We can stop by your father and make sure he'll be fine for the next however long.
I'll be happy, but
When is he happy?
If it makes you
Good
feel
point.
any better, we could dwindle the lie and we could pray on the way.
You can tell him a married woman is escorting y'all.
This is a religious journey that I'm taking.
Believe Space Force of Hora.
Pilgrimage.
speaking of, me and Furnace led our way. It's gonna be a
That's true.
cold journey.
All right. So as you make your determination of needing to move sooner rather than later, you decide to wrap up your business in Riob a little bit abruptly. We will close things out for tonight. So we will move into our post-game thing, but before we do that, I just want to give a shout-out thanks to those of you that have participated in viewing tonight. A special thanks to our guest player tonight with Briars playing Aliona, and she's been invited to continue along. So she's stuck with this group for a little bit.
Yeah.
stuck with
Oh
us.
no.
But,
Oh no.
It was a lot of
thanks
fun. Thanks for
to
inviting me.
everybody for tuning in. We will get things sorted out on what was supposed to be the giveaway thing. I will figure out what was going on with that, and I will reach out to the other individual that was in here to offer him something for his lovely patronage for the night as the other entrant with Briars. Briars won the guest appearance, and we'll go with the other guy won the giveaway. So this is nice. With that, we will close out the stream for Chapter 1, Book 3. We did it. I didn't die. I made it here, so we're all good. But thanks for tuning in. Be sure to come back next week for Chapter 2. And that'll end things for the VOD crew.
Yeah, see ya, y'all.